and I would like to urge people, I would like to urge, especially our participants, guys, please engage on these discussions, engage on opportunities that are going to be discussed here, and really ask these people that are going to be joining us here, whether from Road Accident Fund, from Road Traffic Infringement Agency, from RTMC, from Training Authority. Please ask them what kind of opportunities are there, and in these opportunities, why can't the young people access these opportunities, or rather, how do young people access these opportunities? So Tsogo Safety was started in 2017, but we started implementing in 2018 in partnership with Transport Education Training Authority, TITA, and also Road Accident Fund. The idea of it was to conscientize young people about opportunities and also skills, career opportunities, but also space. In doing that, we wanted to ensure that we also create a sense of ambassadorship, community ambassadorship, whereby Tsogo Safety will come there, will skill people, will raise awareness, will share information, but also community organizations will be able to continue with the messaging and also the communication on the ground in terms of road safety. So the idea of Tsogo Safety is that we don't want to go to Tlexo, we don't want to go to Mafike, we want to go to Northwest every year. We want to ensure that once we've skilled NGOs, non-profit organizations, community organizations, once we've skilled them with the right skills, they can be able to continue to run projects on the ground, run projects around road safety, run projects around road safety skills, run projects around road safety education, but also run projects around road safety business opportunities, so that we can be able to curb the high unemployment rate of young people, but also be able to curb the high road fatalities in our roads. So basically, that is the purpose of the discussion today. And please, guys, when Tabang or when a speaker asks, do you have questions? Guys, I want to see 10 hands being raised, guys, or 15 hands being raised, so that you also confuse the speaker or you confuse the facilitator, because we cannot be the ones speaking all the time. We want to hear what you guys are saying as well. We want to hear what your what your concerns are, what your challenges are. So guys, please engage today and engage robustly. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Tabang.
Tato, thank you so much, Tato, for that brief background and just motivation for colleagues to participate. I don't see Ingrid or General Maja from the Oliven Development Organization. I don't know if any of them are here. General Maja, if you're in the meeting, or Ingrid, you can just come through and just give a word of support as our partner organization. Any of them here, colleagues? Ingrid, General Maja. Okay, if they're not here, I'm just gonna officially just continue with the program. We just have an apology from our colleagues from the Road Accident Fund. They will join us a bit later on during the session. I know Thabo is having load shedding, ESCOM is dealing with him very much so. I'm gonna give Ingrid, she was unable to unmute herself. Ingrid, I was just allowed you to unmute yourself. You can go ahead and just give a word of thanks from the Oliven Development. Ingrid, are you able to talk?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you go ahead? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. A very good morning to all participants, our sponsors, our partners. Ingrid Ramabu from Oliven Development Association. As one of the partners in this program, I really like to appreciate the time given to the young people, and also just to reflect on the most important thing here, road safety. We really have a very, very, very high rate of carnage, and at this stage, we really believe when young people are being capacitated, we can win this battle. And I wish you all the best in this presentation. Thanks.
Ingrid, are you still with us or are you finished? All right, colleagues, I think maybe
Yeah,
Ingrid is having some network challenges. We will also maybe give her some time to come back later on. I just wanted maybe to apologize also for the bad audio that we were experiencing a little bit earlier on. And you know, these platforms tend to have network issues. So colleagues, just bear with us. We have our colleague Remsen Masipa. He's going to come through and do a presentation for us. He represents one of the government agencies which are very crucial in the road safety spaces from RTIA. He'll explain what is about, what's their mandate, what's the type of opportunities they have for young people. As I was saying, some of our partners, the Road Accident Fund and TITA, are still going to come through later on with their presentation. So let's just give Dr. Ramasipa the platform to just come through. Rems, can you please make him co-host so that he can able to share his screen maybe, and then he can then just give us a short presentation on the Road Accident Fund and on RTIA, sorry, on RTIA, and then we'll take it from there. Mr. Ramasipa, are you with us this morning? Dr. Ramasipa?
Chairperson?
Yeah, yes, the platform is yours, so you can do your presentation, just introduce yourself and the agency you represent.
As you have already indicated, my name is Remsen Masipa from the Road Traffic Infringement Agency. Thank you for the opportunity, and I would like to greet all the participants. The RTIA, or the Road Traffic Infringement Agency, was established by Section 3 of the Administrative Adjudication of the Road Traffic Offences Act of 1998. Report to the Department of Transport, or the Department of Transport is our main shareholder. So we are one of the entities that report to the Department of Transport. There are quite a number of entities that report to the DOT, from the roads branch, aviation, rail, and public transport branch, like RAF. Now, the main mandate of the RTIA is to oversee the full implementation of ARTO countrywide. Now, one can ask, what does the ARTO means or stand for? ARTO stands for the Administrative Adjudication of Road Traffic Offences. So the proclaimed is currently active in Gauteng, and physically
Colleague, yes, I'm attending to it. I don't know whether it's just on my side. Remsen, maybe if you can try and get your network correct, because there's a delay in your sound and you are cutting a bit. I don't know if you can try to talk again. Ramson? Yeah, just try and speak. Okay. Continue from where you left off, and let's see what happens.
Let me start again. As indicated, yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. Continue.
Okay. As I've indicated, that we are the agency of the Department of Transport. Okay. The RTIA report to the Department of Transport, and what you see on the screen there is just the topics that I'm going to cover, the issue of the RTR mandate, and so forth. And as I've indicated that currently the ARTO is active in Gauteng, particularly in the city of Tshwane and city of Johannesburg. That's where we are. The aim of the whole ARTO is to roll it out throughout the country, but any other act that is normally introduced is tested. So it is for that reason that we started in Gauteng initially with the aim of looking at the weaknesses and then where we can be able to beef up. And it's for that reason that the act was amended after we have realized that there are some gaps, so that when we roll out throughout the country, we know where those issues are. Now, the most important thing, or our mission, is to encourage the compliance with the road traffic laws, obviously through procedural, fair, reasonable, and lawful administrative process. Currently, there is what you call Section 56 of the Criminal Procedure Act, where in the olden days you realize that if you have got any other infringement or a traffic ticket, you'll either go to the where you can negotiate for it to be reduced. But we realize the courts have got a lot of responsibilities, and hence RTIA was established so that the courts should look at the offenses or criminal procedures, and then we specifically deal with the traffic offenses and infringement. So that is where RTIA came in. Now, having said that, there are quite a number of the causes of the accident currently. Currently we are standing at 14,000 accidents that are happening annually. Now that is also a cost to the country fiscus, because the economy spent more than 142 billion per annum. Now, having said that, that is one of the main worries, because annually we spend that particular amount, whereas we should be channeling it to the other better issues like health and education. Now, as I've indicated earlier on, what are the main challenges or contributors for the accident? Some of them are drunk driving, the excessive speed, reckless overtaking in dangerous spots, or distracted driving. Check, are we still together?
Yes, you are.
Chairperson? Oh, okay.
Yes,
So,
Ntata, continue. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Of the issues that we, particularly from the youth, okay. The other issue that I need to emphasize, the issue of using of cell phones and texting while driving. That is one of the contributing factor. Now, what are the solutions? We are aware that one of our sister entities, RTMC, which deals with the law enforcement, is dealing on that, where we need to have a visibility of the law enforcement 24/7. Now, the issue of the administrative education is one of them, and hence that's why the issue of the ARTO was introduced. But now currently is the act is having the issue of the point demerit system has not been introduced. While we are going to roll out, that is one of the basic factors that is going to be introduced. Why the point demerit system? We would like to remove the reckless drivers on the roads. So we'll do that through the issue of the point demerit system. where all of us are going to start from zero. And then if at this stage, the proposed points that have been suggested is 12, that will mean that if you reach 12, your points, you will be suspended for the first time, for the second time, and if it happens for the third time, then your license is going to be suspended. Now, there was also a UN decade of action where the countries came together, that is 2011, 2020, where the countries were urged to have the accidents by 50%. It's unfortunate that in South Africa we did not reach that stage, as we have indicated earlier on in terms of that stance, to say we did not reach that. But now we are saying ARTO is one of the vehicles that is utilized for people to comply, or even the change of behavior by road users. And we are saying the issue of accident affect all of us, pedestrians, cyclists, all road users are affected by accident because we lose some of our breadwinners, anyone, and that affects families. Now, the as Artia, I know that there's always been a question to say, what is that we do to give the opportunities to the youth? We always encourage people to come together, either to form cooperatives, particularly when it comes to road safety issues. We encourage either NGOs or NPOs, if they have any programs that are road safety targeted, we always support such initiatives, and we call upon to people. For example, I know there was another question the other day, say, if say we want to have a program of road safety, what must we do? Yes, we are able to, people can do the proposals, and we are able to assist them sponsorship. Those are some of the opportunities that we always give, because we look at the objectives and to say if there's any road safety messages or campaigns, we support such. Particularly at this stage, we might not be able to reach all the areas, but because you find yourself that you have organized yourself within that particular locality, and then we are able to come and give the support in such initiatives. Now, how is ARTO set, or how is it done? You find that if you're a driver, you either can get an infringement. Either you are stopped by the traffic official and you are given what you call ARTO 1. Normally that will be given directly to you. But we are saying people have got rights. If either whatever the infringement that you are accused, you feel that that is not, like it was not fairly been done, that's where Artia comes in. We don't either represent the official or the member of public, but obviously we are neutral and we are serving as an ombudsman. So we are in the middle, so that at the end of the day, there's fairness. And those are type of the ARTO notices, that is ARTO 1, ARTO 2, 21, and 3, as I've indicated in that in the presentation. Now, obviously there are stages that what happens after you have given an infringement. Currently, there are 3 stages that we undergo. The first one, obviously, you might opt to pay. But now the first stage comes with, or one of the advantage of ARTO is the 50% discount. Automatically, when you receive an infringement, you qualify to pay 50% discount. But that should only be taking place if you pay within 82 days after receiving an infringement. So that is one of the advantages, so that we encourage people to do that or to act as early as possible. But if you can't do that, you can also either arrange for an installment or make it you're not happy about. That is on stage one. Stage two is where obviously you can submit also a representation, but obviously as an agency, we are going to remind you that we have got such an infringement that we have taken or we have came across on such a day. And then if you don't do anything, it reaches a stage where it's called stage 3, which is an enforcement order. With this stage, that's where unfortunately you can't either renew your driver's license or your vehicle risk. And then that's where now the issue of you are blocked on the system, because you recall that we have got all the particulars of all the drivers who are in the e-notice system. As I've indicated, the point demerit system is not active, but currently the threshold is 12 points, and the issue of the suspension, and as I've already indicated, there is in the presentation. Now, what so quite number of the role players within the ARTO system? We have got the issuing authorities, we've got the driver's license and testing centers, or your RAs. The SAPS is one of our role players. The magistrate, that is in the issue of the offenses, because there are still serious offenses. For example, that we at this stage cannot be, we don't handle. For example, if you are found to be driving, for example, 160 and above, that is an offense that can be done by, can be handled by the magistrate. In the South African roads is 120. But if you go beyond 160, that is an offense that can be done by the magistrate. Now, okay, if currently you are in Gauteng, or if you drive in Gauteng, for example, I know that people who are Chairperson?
I was saying you were breaking a bit, but you're fine now. You can continue. Just wrap up in the 5 minutes.
Oh, yes, in conclusion, just to say that if you find yourself that you have got other offenses, and then what are, in the olden days with the section 56, if you commit an offense in Mafikeng, for example, you are bound to go back to Mafikeng and go and pay it. So in this time of age, obviously that is not conducive, because you have to go back to that particular jurisdiction. Now you can do payment anywhere you are, either through the bank, the payment platforms like Spar, Checkers, ShopRite, and then South African Post Office, and then that particular notice is updated. Now, as I've indicated, that unfortunately due to the COVID, we're supposed to roll out this in July 2020, but it has since been postponed to 2021. That's where we're going to roll out ARTO nationally. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, Chairperson, those are some of the main objective of the whole presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ramasipa, for that insightful presentation. I'd just like to give colleagues a chance to ask you some questions. Colleagues, there's an option below on your phone. If you're using a phone or on your laptop, there's 3 dots that says more. You can raise your hand digitally. I see we have a hand already from Nathaniel. I'm going to take more hands, about 5 for this round of questions. I see we have another hand from Matsepa Palesa from Tumelo. All right, colleagues, you can continue to raise your hands. I'm noting them. All right, Nathaniel, you can go ahead, my leader, and ask your question.
Thank you very much. I have only 3 questions here. The first one, since the agency is an overseer of the full implementation of the ARTO, since they have started implementing it at the 2 metros, have they seen it as a viable tool for curbing the recklessness that we see on our roads, particularly in Johannesburg? And the second and third question are similarly on the system of points demerit that has not been implemented yet. The first question is, when does the demerit system start? Are you demeriting points from me immediately as the traffic officers stop me on the road? Or are my points demerited only after I've received the ARTO offense fine? And then the second one on that is, what influenced 12 points? I think 12 is a little bit lower. What influenced 12 points on the demerit system? Thank you.
Thank you very much, my leader. The next question will be coming from Paul Palesa.
Okay.
Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, my question is that I received a ticket, but I was driving my mom's car. So we got an SMS from ARTO that I think I was driving 100 on an 80 zone. So I was in Joburg, but now I wanted to renew my mom's car disc. So we tried to call this number that was on the SMS, and then nobody was answering that number, and we were not able to renew the disc. So we ended up paying the amount. I think it was 850 for driving 100 on an 80 zone. So with that being said, my question is this: when are you guys going to be able to answer our calls if we have queries and questions to ask about our tickets that we get? Because we don't even get an email to show where we were driving or whatever. It's just a ticket and an SMS. It says an SMS, they send you an SMS, and then they tell you where you were driving and what speed and all that. So with the numbers that are sent there, how do we get to call you guys or get some help from people that are working at ARTO?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Tumelo, I see your hand is up. You can go ahead, my leader. Tumelo? Tumelo, are you able to come through? Or maybe text your question in the chat.
Hello?
Yes.
Tumelo, yeah?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, Tumelo, go ahead with your question.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Actually, I didn't hear presentation entirely, but I just want to know about this agency. Because at time when they were speaking there, a gentleman was speaking there, spoke about young people organizing themselves, doing some cooperatives in order to get some assistance from them or NGO. So I want to understand the actual procedure in terms of their mandate. What actually are they going to assist with, particularly from this point whereby you find that you open an NGO that works exactly about substance abuse. Its mandate is all about substance abuse or counseling, all those things. And in actual fact, the substance abuse is at some point is contribute, not at some point, it's actually a contributory to accidents that are occurring within the road. So I just want to check with them because he was just saying if something we do some awareness in relation to the road the issue of this their mandate. So I want to check with their alignment of their mandate with some other cooperatives and NGOs. But nonetheless, I will request that the presentation be sent to ourselves so that we can able to read it so further, because I feel like myself, by the way, I didn't hear very well, and this presentation seems to be well content. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my leader. Tate Masipa, I'll just want to give you a chance to respond to those questions, and then I see there are other hands coming through. I'll take them in the next round. And Tate Masipa, maybe just respond to the questions. Yes, Tate Masipa, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, thank you very much, Chairperson. I'll start with the first one from Natalia. Yes, we with the current where ARPA is active, we have realized that yes, it is viable. We can see the results, and most of the time, as I've indicated earlier on, you see when people come, when they are either having the enforcement orders, it's only then that you'll find that people are rushing because either they are blocked, they can't do some of the activations, and they are either renewing their licenses or their licenses. So yes, ARTO is viable. On the issue of the point demerit system, when does it start? As I've indicated in my presentation, we'll all start at 0. The why at 0? Obviously, if not stopping at the stop sign will carry certain points. For example, we'll have 2 points, and driving through the through the red robots might even have 6 points, for example. So it means that the more you do more offenses, the more yourself are going to deplete your own points. So it depends on what type of infringement that you'll be doing, and each infringement will carry its own point demerit system. So it won't be the same. So depending obviously at the severity of that particular infringement, then it will create, say for example, you have reached 12, then it means that within a certain period you need to behave. When you behave properly or driving properly, then we minus that particular, should I say, those points. If say within 3 months you have behaved and you have not received any infringement, then we'll minus 1. So it means that you'll having 11. Then another 3 months you behave well, and then we minus until we go back to 0. So the more you behave, the more you even gain points or you gain them back. So that's how that's how it works. Now, yes, there was an issue to say 12 points is very low. Yes, during the discussion when we do the public participation, there were that try to say 12 is little. Current stakeholders have even suggested 15. So chances are that by the time we roll out, we might even having 15 points versus 12. So yes, we are aware that that is one of the concerns that was raised. Coming to the question by Palisa. Palisa, I'm not sure which number you were using. Currently, our call center number is 086 122 7861. 086 122 7861. If this presentation is shared, there are numbers there that towards the end of presentation where our contacts are. It's just unfortunately at this stage, I can't know that which one was your the number that you were utilized. But yes, it is true that if you had any offense, yes, it is true that if you have any offense, particularly that happened in Gauteng, it is one of those issues that you find yourself in where you can't renew the disc. For example, instead, because that particular vehicle is registered in your mom's name, and you were the one who was driving on that particular day, so it means that she have accepted that obviously there is the offense that you have done on that particular day. But if, say, for example, you find that you borrow someone a car, and then you are able to do what you call to nominate a driver. So that is one of the procedures that is being followed. On the issue of raised by Tumelo, yes, depending on the how you put your proposal, you were right when you said the substance abuse is one of the causes of the road accidents, and I've indicated in my earlier presentation. Depending on how you craft your proposal, if there are, say, for example, there are certain youth programs that we can come and obviously discuss, as long as it's tied to the road safety, that is welcome. So it depends on how you do that particular proposal. So we obviously going to share our contact number. If there's any discussion that can be taken off the offsite, we can even continue. And if you need further questions. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Ramasipa. I see there's one more question. I'll take one more question from September. September, you can come through with your question. I see your hand has been up. You can go ahead, September. September, are you still with us? Okay, it seems like September is not able to unmute himself. Let's try September. Okay. All right, colleagues, I'm going to move because of we were experiencing technical issues with one of our participants there. Thank you very much, Dr. Ramasipa, for that presentation from Altia.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, September, go ahead.
No, thanks. Look, I just wanted, my question was related to this thing of school safety programs, because I'm staying here in one of the town called Swazarneke. We had a very bad accident 2 weeks back of learner scholar transport and so on. Now, I just wanted to check, because there were these learner patrollers that normally we used to see around street and so on. So I just want to check if this program that you said you can be engaged on and support it, can it be one of the programs that can be supported? Because, you know, during those times when we had learner patrollers, we never had accidents. So 2 weeks back, we lost about, I think, 9 learners, you know, on a taxi, accident caused by a taxi, and you know, and what programs can be brought to schools on awareness in terms of Banabari Golo, and what program can be brought in terms of, because some of the drunk drivers are there and driving recklessly and so on, to tavern owners in terms of awareness and so on regarding safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much, September, for that question. Dr. Ramasipa, just in brief, can you just respond and then we move on to the next presentation?
Okay, thank you very much, President. That's a good question. I know currently this issue of the school patrols is our sister agency, RTMC, is responsible, and by giving either the resources, training. I'm not sure whether my colleague today is in Tabo, is one of the colleagues, Tabo Center from RTMC, can even elaborate more on this program. But otherwise, together as the road entities, we time and again come together and assist where possible. Yes, if there is that type of proposal, we are able to assist where possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my leader. And I like the fact that you said Utabo. He just entered the meeting very briefly. Tabo, maybe if you're able to also respond to that question, Yaga September, in regards to school patrol programs, how they can receive support. If you can also, that would be wonderful.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, the RTMC currently is the custodian and run all the scholar patrol programs throughout the country. But it is a process. It involves the province, it involves the local government authorities, and it involves various formations in an area where the scholar patrol is run. It is a process in that you need to get the forms from the RTMC, you need to register, and that your application will have to be assessed by the RTMC, after which then you'll get all the supporting requirements from your stop boards to the painting and the painting of the zebra crossings, up to the insurance of the people who are physically conducting the activity, like your learners, they need to be insured. And there's also indemnity forms that needs to be signed. So I would request that if you need full information on that through the REMS Foundation, colleagues can then get my details, email me the specific requirements. They can even get my telephone numbers from there. Then we can just take the matter forward. I do not want to handle it separately since this request came through this platform. That is why I say probably let's engage through the very same platforms that we met, which is through the capacity building program, the road safety capacity program run by the REMS Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tabo. Sorry for confusing Tabo Mokwela. I meant Tabo Siete. So I see there's another hand raised by Motabi Chukudu. Mochabi, you can go through.
Good morning, colleagues. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
Yes, I'm Mutabi Tsukudu, the director responsible for road safety in the province. Responding to September's concerns, as Tabo indicated before me, that as a province, we are responsible for a program that is Scholar Patrol. Like Tabo indicated, there's a process that we must go through for you to register those learners to participate in the province. The program is ongoing, but due to the challenges that we're experiencing now under COVID-19, we have suspended the project because schools are not fully operational. But can I have the details, September's details, so that I can take it with him? Because we've had an organization or a grouping in Swaziland that we've been engaging, especially on Scholar Patrol, on areas where we are able to establish a scholar patrollers. Then we can take up those groupings as volunteers to assist those learners to cross the road. Because Scholar Patrol is fully guided by a manual which is developed by the RTMC. So we have to assess whether a school does qualify to participate in the project. If it doesn't, then we can have them in our volunteer program so that they assist the learners to assist the road. It's a volunteer program also take it from there. But we've been engaging with a certain group. I'm not sure whether it's September is also part of that group, but we are in talks with the other group in Swaziland about that issue. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mechukudu. Colleagues, I want to close the presentation that was shared by Ramsen Masipa. There will be details that will be shared with colleagues, and even as Chukudu was saying that she will like September's details, we will share them with her. We will also give her a chance later on to do the presentation from the department side, Department of Transport of Northwest. With that said, thank you very much, Ramson, for your presentation. I want to move on to Thabo Makwela to do the presentation from the Road Accident Fund before we receive our workshopping on the business model canvas. Thabo, I like colleagues.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, Thabo, you can go. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. All right. Thanks a lot, Thabang. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning. A very good morning to everyone, and apologies for being late. We had load shedding on our side. I couldn't connect or do anything. You know how it is when we've got load shedding. Network at Habanje. So, and also let me apologize in advance. I don't have a presentation. I've been doing these meetings over my cell phone. My laptop has been failing me since day one. I can't connect on my laptop, but I'll just present from my head, and I hope I'll capture everything and be able to give out all the necessary information. Yeah, colleagues, as indicated, my name is Thabo Makwela. I'm from the Road Accident Fund. I'm the road safety manager there at the RAF. My role there is purely simple, just to implement and to manage road safety programs within the RAF. We work a lot with our sister agencies. We work a lot with provinces and the National Department of Transport. Also, Musabi, I know her very well. I'm sure some of you colleagues within the at this meeting, we've somehow exchanged or crossed paths, and we've met before, also worked together. So before I could even start, allow me to just give you a brief background, RAF, for the benefit of those who don't know who we are, what we do. We are an entity of the Department of Transport, just like the RTIA. We report to the Minister of Transport, and we play a supporting role as far as road safety is concerned. Our mandate is to compensate those who are injured as a result of road crashes. If you understand how the Department of Transport and its entities is structured, you will understand that the RAF comes at the last pillar as far as road safety is concerned. So you'd have RTMC, what would Thabo said, playing a leading role in terms of road safety education. You'd have RTIA playing a leading role in terms of law enforcement in collaboration with the RTMC. And when everything else has failed and there is an accident, that is where the RAF comes in. So we are there to merely compensate those who are injured as a result of road crashes. I'm sure we are well aware that the RAF compensate for your medical expenses, also compensate for your loss of income, past and future loss of income, will also compensate for funeral expenses. We get into detail if there are any questions related to how one can claim, where can one claim, and what can one claim for. I want to believe that I'm talking to the people that have been, most of the people who are here have been operating within the transport fraternity or the transport field. So they've got a little bit of information about the transport entities. So I don't want to bore you with many details as far as how one can claim and all those things. What we want to do now is to change the mindset of our fellow South Africans. In fact, we would be very, very happy if we cannot see people coming to the RF to lodge a claim with us. Mainly because of we're seeing hundreds of people who are suffering. People, you get a lot of people thinking that, you know, I wish I can get an accident and then go to the RAF and then get millions. Now, I always ask people, guys, which one is better, to be poor and be able to walk, or to be a multi-millionaire while you're bedridden, or to be a multi-millionaire while you cannot do anything for yourself, you cannot take yourself to the loo and all those things. And there's a colleague of mine, he works with Mr. Masipa at the RTIA. He likes saying whenever we're traveling and doing the road safety presentations, he likes ending his presentations with questions or with comments and saying, you know, you would see the importance of having both your legs when you've lost one, or you'd see the importance of having a functional spinal cord when you have a broken one, or you see the importance of having both eyes after losing one. So he always encourages people, you know what, take care of yourselves, obey the rules and regulations of the road, so that you don't lose one of your arms, you don't lose one of your legs, or you don't use functionality of your spinal cord, or you don't lose any important part that would enable you to achieve what you want to achieve in life. So he encourages a lot of road users to always be careful. Now, questions that we always get from people throughout the country, guys, RAF, since your mandate is to compensate, but as a result of road crashes, why are you guys doing road safety activities? Well, the RF currently spends over 40 billion rand every single year compensating those who are injured as a result of road crashes. We're seeing over 252,000 people, and the number keeps on increasing. We're going back to the office probably in the next 2 weeks, and I'm sure when we get to the office, we will find that the RF board has adjusted the number of, or targeted number of people that or the number of claims that we should claim. Last year it was over 250,000. I'm sure this year they've increased it to over 260,000 people that we should assist. And when we say 250,000, we mean people that really qualifies to lodge a claim with the RAF. Of the 250,000 claims that we've registered last year, we referring to those who have qualified to lodge a claim. There's hundreds more who are still sitting in hospital, haven't lodged their claims. There's hundreds more who do not know RAF, where to claim and how to claim. And there's hundreds more who tried to claim but did not qualify because of they were on the wrong side of the law. So the 250,000 claims that I'm talking about, it's mainly those who are the victims of road crashes. So you can see that the number of people getting injured on a daily basis, on an annual basis, is much bigger than we thought. Now, looking at those numbers, 250,000 that we register, we have the 250,000 or less 1,000 people that we saw the previous financial year. And the RF board will also give us a target and say, while you're registering 250,000 claims, you need to settle at least 200,000 claims every single year. So people are claiming millions and millions of rands based on their injuries, their qualifications, and their income. So the 40 billion rand that we're getting on an annual basis is just a drop in the ocean, because of, as we're speaking now, the RF is sitting on a 150 billion rand deficit. This is inclusive of the registered claims and the people or the claims that are anticipated to be registered in the next 2 years. So we're anticipating that in the next between the claims that we have already on the system and the ones that will be registered in the next 2 years, we will be spending about 150 billion rand. And as we speak, we also, the organization is operating back in 2018, 2019. The organization was, no, 2019, 2020, the organization was operating on a 12 billion rand administrative deficit. So the money comes into the RF, it goes into the RF, it goes. That's the nature of our business. Then where do we get the funds to compensate all these people? Where do we get this 40 billion rand? We get it from the fuel levy. We're currently getting from every liter of fuel that is being purchased, we're getting 1.92 cent. Yeah, we're getting 1.92 cent. And depending on the amount of fuel purchased on a monthly basis, we get about 3 to 4 billion rand every single month. So now, whether one has a car or a bike, or they use taxi, or they use bus to go to work, we all somehow contribute to what the RF receives at the end of every single year. Now, the RF board decided back in 2012 and said, we're spending a lot of money, we're seeing a lot of people. The Department of Transport is heavily loaded with road safety programs, or is getting a lot in terms of reducing the fatalities and the fatalities, or rather the road crashes within the country. How about we establish a unit, a road safety unit, that will assist the Department of Transport and the Road Traffic Management Corporation, which is the leading road safety agency in the country, in terms of coming up with programs that would reduce or prevent fatalities. That's how the road safety unit within the RF was started. We were born in 2013, and but we started the road safety RF was within the marketing sector, and marketers, and they would do everything just so that the organization can be seen out there. Yes, it put us on the map. However, the biggest question was that, did we have any impact as far as road crashes were concerned? I'm sure most of us in this group, you would agree with me that a lot of road safety programs that we see in the country are those programs that we've just shopped, or that we saw the Australians doing, or we saw the Americans doing, or the Germans doing, and then we decided, let's bring it home and see if it will work. So we like saying, I like saying to people, what works for the Americans will not necessarily work for the South Africans. What works for the Australians will not work for South Africans. Their road safety programs are developed based on the statistics or the evidence. And right now, we just went out there, took what they're doing, and then wanted to bring it home. So most of the programs that we were doing were not speaking to the challenges within the country, the challenges that we faced as a country. They were not based on the statistics available. So, through our statistics unit, we decided, let us do away with all these programs that we have. Let us develop programs that are evidence-based. Let us develop programs that are speaking to the challenges within the country. We then decided to come up with four road safety programs. The very first one that we have, it's what we call a child restraint program. Now, this program was developed back in 2015, immediately after the amendment of the National Traffic Act Regulation 252, which compels or rather requires every motorist who's driving with a child to properly restrain that child. So this program was responding to that amendment by the Minister of Transport, the National Traffic Act. But then also, if you drive around, I'm sure you've seen Abu Tabo, both of them, they've got their seatbelts on, but the mother, Tabo's wife, is carrying a child and on to go front seat. So both parents, they've buckled up and they're safe should anything happen. But the life of this young one is in danger. The life of this young one is in danger. Now, what does that say about us, about Tabo and his wife as parents? Do we really love our children, or do we really hate our child that much to an extent that we can just expose the child to such danger? And then you've seen as well, perhaps both parents sitting in front, and you'd have a child standing in between the car seat, and it just didn't make sense to me and my colleagues that you would have people risking the lives of their children like that. So the other reason why we did the program was that we looked at what research is saying, we looked at what statistics is saying. We came across a document when we were engaging with some of the research students going into evidence indicated or showed that as a country, we're burying over 500 children every single year. 500 children were being buried because of they died as a result of children road crashes. Most of them were because of they were ejected during a car crash. So those are the some reasons why we did this program. We want to educate our road users about the importance of restraining children. We want to encourage road users to comply with the rules and regulation of the road. So how do we do that? We decided to purchase car seats, and then we walk around all the hospitals within the country. We identify mothers who are giving birth in those hospitals, and we give them car seats for free. We tell them how to use them. We help them to install the car seats, and then we encourage them to take the car seat and then give it to somebody else when the child has outgrown the car seat. I'm sure we know 1 or 2 people who are sitting with car seats at home that they bought about 7-8 years ago. Those people, we encourage them to wash the car seat, donate it to a neighbor who has just recently given birth to a child, and then have a car seat. In that way, we will also save the life of the lives of their babies. So please, colleagues, also assist us. Let's assist the Department of Transport. Let's assist the Road Traffic Management Corporation in terms of educating our fellow South Africans there. But what's important is that we need to taking a leading role or playing an exemplary role as far as road safety is concerned. So if us within the road safety or the transport fraternity or space don't abide by the rules and regulations of the road, how do we expect other people out there to behave or to become better road users? So that was the first program that we do. And the second month that we have, it's what we call a defensive driver program. Within this program, we have got 2 sections. The first section focuses strictly on professional drivers, or rather public transport drivers, I like to call them. within this space, we deal mainly with bus drivers, truck drivers, and the taxi drivers. One main reason why we're doing that is because of we believe that if a bus driver is equipped with safe driving skills, we will that bus driver will save thousands and thousands of lives. I'll give you an example. If Thabo is a bus driver and then he carries about 75 persons or people per trip, and he makes about 10 trips every single day, it means Thabo ferries about 750 people on a daily basis. Take that number multiplied by 1,000, 2,000, let's say 1,000 bus drivers. You'd have about 75,000 people that you are saving on a daily basis because of you have equipped 1,000 bus drivers with the safe driving skills. Our drivers are well taken off, they are well equipped, they are well trained. We will be saving, preventing a lot of accidents. And preventing a lot of accidents, it means we're preventing a lot of fatal injuries. We're preventing a lot of serious injuries from happening. So that's why we're doing those trainings. We work a lot with reputable service providers, skilled service providers, or professional service providers. They are the ones who are doing the training for us. We've done so far over 7,000 drivers, and lately we are seeing more and more organizations looking for this training. I've worked a lot with ESCOM drivers within the Northwest Province. I'm doing a lot of ambulance drivers within the province. I also would attest. I'm always in Mafikeng. In fact, that's where my wife is from. I'm always in Mafikeng, Potchefstroom. In fact, all over the province. As far as Freiburg, we've done hundreds and hundreds of trainings. We've trained hundreds and hundreds of drivers within the province. Now, the second section of this defensive driving program focused strictly on motorcyclists. With motorcyclists, we do what we call a practical safety training. That's totally different to the one that we do for bus or professional drivers. Mainly because of one thing. One, to purchase a motor vehicle, you need a driver's license. To drive a motor vehicle license, to drive a motor vehicle or a taxi or bus, you would need to be licensed. But then with the motorcycle, if you've got one, or if you know someone with a motorcycle, they'll tell you that you just need a learner's license. You go and apply for financing. The bank will finance you. So it's treated differently to a motor vehicle. So which means most of the motorcyclists are not properly trained. They just get one day training from a friend, and then they like the feel on the motorbike, and then they go and purchase a motorcycle. 2-3 months down the line, the guy is dead because of he was not properly trained on how to sweep when approaching a corner, or what to do when you are faced with certain challenges as far as the riding is concerned. So that's why for them we do a practical training. Their training takes the whole day, whereas for the taxi or professional drivers takes about 3 to 4 hours. Now, why are we doing this? Back in 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014, we looked at statistics at the RAF. We looked at how much how many people are coming to the RAF, registering claims, and we found that back in 2014, our stats unit was talking about 400, 500, 600 people who are claiming at the RAF and those people were bikers. So we dealt with 600 bike-related claims or motorcycle-related claims. 2013-14, the number went up from 600 to 2,000, 2005, 3,000. So you can tell that there's more and more brothers out there and sisters out there who are buying motorcycles. And look, the economic boom, economic growth of the countries, we've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, we've seen a lot of business people, and we're seeing hundreds and hundreds of Black South Africans purchasing motorcycles, and most of them, they're not properly trained. Most of, or 90% of them, they are not licensed. So, most of them, they're not properly trained. They go to these day jobs, they drink, and after drinking, they want to ride home, ride a motorcycle at 320 kilometers per hour. Look, that thing will kill you, and it's unfortunate. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of them. They're dying. So that's one main reason why we're doing training for this for these bikers, and we also encourage them to be licensed and to do this training on a regular basis. We work with companies such as BMW, Honda. I work with a lot other private companies such as Soweto Motorbike School, Dynamic Road Safety. They also specialize in motorcyclists training. I think we've done last year about 80 or 90 bikers in the Northwest, train them at in the province, and then we encourage them to do their training on a regular basis. How do we then make sure that they come back for the training, or they go and do the training on themselves? The certificate that they're getting can be used or can be taken back to the insurance companies to negotiate for a better insurance rate. And insurance companies have welcomed the initiative. They are giving them what do we call this? Discounts, as long as they can produce proof of having been or having attended the training. So we're hoping that we would reduce, with that we can reduce the number of accidents involving our fellow South Africans and the bikers, rather the motorcyclists. We all the third program that we have, we call it low-cost infrastructural intervention. With this intervention, we looked at the number of accidents taking place within the country, especially surrounding schools and areas where there's high visibility of pedestrians. And we also looked at other factors such as your scholar patrol. Thanks to other RTMC for the introduction of the scholar patrol in the country. However, you would still have those who just drive by at high speed, even though there are kids standing there. So we decided, let us come up with a program that would force the motorists to reduce speed when approaching intersections or areas where there is high movement of learners crossing the road, or where there's scholar patrol, kids, and where there's a high visibility of pedestrians, as I've indicated. So we normally we operate this program is implemented as follows. One, as a reactive program, looking at the statistics and say, what, we are experiencing high number of accidents within this particular country. We talk to the province and the municipalities, and we say, we're seeing thousands or hundreds and hundreds of people being killed on this particular route. Can we come together and then we come up with interventions? Or we speak to the province and say, look at areas where there is a high visibility of accident, and then give us specifications through the municipal engineer. And we develop programs or interventions. We then get service providers to go and implement or erect speed calming measures or preventative measures there. On the other hand, we want to be proactive. We don't want to wait for an accident to happen. Like, we then decided, let us look at the areas where there is a scholar patrol, where the RTMC has registered schools for scholar patrol. Then we go there, we do the infrastructure. We don't want to wait until learners have been killed. We go there and do the infrastructure. We speak to the provinces, like we've spoken to Officer Mutabi, I think last year or year before last. Last year we erected, I think, about 80 speed humps within the province, different districts. And the main purpose of this was to prevent accidents from happening, was to prevent our kids from being knocked down. So we do the speed humps, we do the warning signs, we do the rubber strips, we do the painting. We do almost everything that would alert the motorist or force them, if it comes to a push, force them to reduce their speed when approaching that particular intersection. And in most areas where we've erected this infrastructure, we've seen a prevention as far as accident is concerned. We've seen a reduction where there was a high number of accidents taking place. We've seen a reduction in terms of the number of accidents taking place in that particular area. The fourth program that we're doing at the RF is what we call the Youth Driver Development Program. This program was motivated mainly by the following reasons. One, a spike in the number of accidents, or an increase in the number of accidents taking place in the country, involving truck drivers, and most of those truck drivers were found to be of foreign origin. So we decided, let us come up with a program that would create a cadre of young professional drivers who would want or create a group of young professional drivers who would want to pursue a career in truck driving. By so doing, we would be sending into the market young, properly trained truck drivers. Would be sending into the market or the trucking industry young, converted, responsible road users. And by so doing, we will be increasing the number of locally trained or South African trained individuals into the trucking business, into the South African business. You've seen monitoring, I'm sure, especially go KZN, you'd see once every 6 months there is a strike, but the trucking companies are hiring foreign labor and all those things. So we the RF goes throughout the country looking for people who would want to pursue a career in driving, and then we assist them in terms of getting the NAS license, driver's license, and a professional driver's permit. Through that, once they are done, we speak to the Road Freight Association, we speak to Saboa, and we engage them in terms of assisting us through assisting us with placing this learner or these candidates into trucking companies as body drivers. We want them to have a 12 months feel of what it is to be a truck driver, or have a 12 months feel of what it is to be a truck driver. And we're still in talks with those associations. And once one has gone through that training or that process, they will then decide whether they still want to become a truck driver or a bus driver. And then second reason was that we are trying as a government also to reduce the number of licenses that are purchased at the testing station. I mean, has a speed already. People go around the testing stations, or they've got friends go to testing stations who are just doing license for them for free and at a fee without being tested. We've got driving schools that are working with all these traffic officers, and it's easier for them to get a driver's license. And one thing that we don't they don't put into consideration is the safety of these young ones that they are giving license to. I mean, if go for a driver's license for free or at a fee without being tested, what am I saying to you? As it is, the standards, the law and the standard in the country, the laws and the standard in the country don't really support each other. I'll give you an example. You go through a learner's license, you get your learner's license, and then they go and test you. While the driver, the maximum speed you drive at, you would agree with me, Simsabi and other colleagues, the maximum speed you drive at while you are testing, give 40 kilometers per hour. You won't drive, even when you're still being trained on how to drive. The maximum speed you're trained at is 40 kilometers per hour. But then once we give you the license, we license you to drive. License, go and drive 120 kilometers per hour. Immediately, we're giving an authority to drive on our road 120 kilometers per hour. Say you are now licensed to go. You've never driven 120 kilometers per hour, but the law says you're fine on your own. Somehow drive 120 kilometers per hour. So those are some of the things that we're trying to address with this program. And then also, we're looking at contributing to the reduction of employment through this program. You've seen a lot of positions right now that are advertised. One of the requirements is a driver's license. You've got hundreds and hundreds of our brothers and sisters out there sitting with qualifications or sitting with matric, but then Babasna driver's license to apply for that traffic officer's job, or for that police job, or for that delivery position at a particular private company. So the program also aims at giving or assisting fellow South Africans with a tool that would assist them in terms of getting employment. Now,
yes. Just so to disturb you, my leader, I think maybe can you just wrap up so that we can be able
all right, yeah. I'm wrapping up. Okay, now the main reason why we are here, we also work with a lot of NGOs in terms of partnerships. We get invitations throughout the country from non-governmental organizations requesting us to come and assist with or to be part of or take part in their road safety program. So if there's anyone, any NGO out there that would want the RF to support the activity, please do invite us. And also, we've got a funding that we set aside for non-governmental organizations. If you've got a road safety program or proposal that you'd want to forward to us, please do so. We're going to be opening a window, I think, from the 15th of this month. I'll be sending out emails to all the non-governmental organizations, those who've got proposals for funding, to please send it to us. However, we're very, very, very strict in terms of the proposals that we fund. We can't fund, or we don't fund proposals that are talking to the same things that the RF is doing. We can't fund your proposal for wanting to do driver's license or want to distribute cassettes. Our committee normally asks, Tabo, why do you want us to fund this person? Because of you are doing the very same thing. So we're looking for unique programs that would have a direct impact, that are measurable, and that would somehow have an impact as far as road user behavior is concerned. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can talk the whole day. My job is I'm getting paid to talk, so I can talk the whole day. So, allow me to cut it there. We'll then take questions and see if we can answer all the questions. Thanks a lot, Tabang. Thanks a lot to Abu Drems for the opportunity.
Thank you, Tabo, for that very long presentation for this platform. I see that you're enjoying explaining the mandate and what RAF does and how you can assist colleagues. So colleagues, I'm gonna take questions for the Road Accident Fund. I'm gonna ask you to digitally raise your hand. You just click on the 3 dots at the bottom that says more, and then you are raising your hand and I'll note you. Is there any questions for the presentation that Tabo just did? Colleagues, you can just raise your hand. Any questions or comment? I see Neo. Neo, you are noted. Can I take more questions? I see Natalia. Natalia. Who else is having a question? All right, Neo, you can go through. You can come through with your question now.
Hello?
Yes, Neo.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Hello?
loud and clear. Yes, talk.
Oh, hi. Yes, I wanted to ask a question about the RAF. If it happens that somebody puts in a claim, né? Then they do not receive any feedback, and then the person happens to pass away whilst in the process of the claim, what then happens to the money that they claimed? Does the children of the deceased then carry out the claim, or do we just leave it at that and just let the money go? And then my second question is, in regards to the assistance that the gentleman just spoke about, assisting people that have matriculated but then are unable to get a license due to funds. What exactly are they going to do to assist these people? And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Paul. I see also Natalia. Natalia, hey, your name is difficult to pronounce.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Continue, my lead.
All right. Thank you very much, Tabo, for the wonderful presentation. I am going to make sure that my questions are very brief. The first one, as people are educated on claiming for the road accident fund, are there specific categories in terms of compensation, that of which are given during the presentations? Categories in terms of how or what are the specific claiming processes that people need to really undertake, so that we avoid a person claiming and then that claims do not go through, as I think Neo has been asking. And then the other one, you spoke about compensations for specific parties. If I am on the wrong, you are not going to pay me anything, or there's nothing that I can claim. But if we all went to a party and we are all intoxicated, and I happen to ask for a lift from you going back home, and on our way back home, we are then involved in a car accident, can I be compensated irrespective of the fact that I am also intoxicated? And irrespective of the fact that I was in a car of a person who was intoxicated and the person was behind the steering wheel, can I be compensated if that is the case? And then the other one, we do see, I don't want to make invalid assumptions, but we do see that there are some cases where people are involved in an accident, and there are those who are taken to hospitals for whatever medical attention that they need. And somehow when you try following up with the South African Police Services or road traffic agencies on the accident, you find that the accident is not registered at the South African Police Services. Can I claim, if that is the case, that the accident has not been registered anyway? Because sometimes, yes, the accident is registered, but the party that is in the wrong then somehow finds a way to ensure that the case is somehow removed from the roll, or the claim or the accident is not registered with the South African Police Services or the relevant agencies that deal with accidents. And then the last one is on the validity period of the claim. if I am involved in an accident and I do not claim maybe in a period of a year, can I still claim after that a period of a year? Or will the claim then not be accepted by the road accident fund because I took probably 12 months to claim and the validity period has expired? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathaniel. I see we also have a question from September again, and then after September, Bongani will then come through. September?
Thanks, Chair. One must welcome the presentation. It's a very interesting presentation. First, the issue of the infrastructure in terms of learner safety, like there has been mentioned there of the speed humps. I think here we really need it. I think I need to engage with the gentleman there on this matter, or because I've seen there are officials there from the Department of Safety. We really need to engage on that. Secondly, the issue of truck driving licenses or on training of such is for the first time I'm hearing of it. I don't know how long is this there, but I'm from this or not. We are interested on that truck driving license because one, it deals with the issues of unemployment. Two, it really brings dignity to the licensees, those who carry licenses, because people tend to buy licenses corner to post and so on. So such would really reduce this kind of accident that we're experiencing here, and also
my leader, September, can you hear me?
Employment exposure to those young people or to those who want to become trained. Yeah. Hello.
You are cutting. Can you maybe perhaps type some of the questions in the chat box, because we are unable to hear you properly, but we've captured most of your questions. I'm sure Thabo has captured them. So can you maybe type the remainder of your question in the chat so that we can able to catch them properly? And I'm not suppressing you. I'm just looking at time as well. Please, colleagues, when you ask questions or make comments, can you be short and concise? And with that said, I'm gonna allow Bongani to come through, and then September, just type the remainder of your question in the chat box. Thank you. Bongani?
Tara.
Yeah, you can go through, sir.
I wanted to check with Mr. Thabo that what is it that they can do to improve the system of handling the middleman? That person being the lawyer, because I've seen some of these other lawyers, they tend to rip people off when even if a payment was 100 rand, but the recipient only ends up receiving 60 rand, of which 40% of that claim has already went to the administration and the litigation processes in which the lawyer was assisting the person who wanted to claim for that compensation or for whatever monies that they're supposed to get. So is there any way that they can create a system in which this middleman can be cut off? Because of we come from Black communities, they do not know how to read some of these fine prints coming from these lawyers. They can't even understand the English. If you are coming from extension level and you got an accident, the conversation must be between you, the doctor, and ref, and all of these other things will be uploaded. But as opposed to you being represented by a lawyer, it's totally ripping off our people of their monies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna stop taking questions because I think Thabo, you've asked a lot of questions. We'll try and squeeze some of them in after you answer. Can you just go ahead, Thabo, and just answer these questions you've captured for now? Thabo? Thabo, are you still there?
Thanks. I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh no, you're fine now.
All right. Thank you for listening, colleagues, and questions. I can. I'll try and answer as much as I can. Starting with a question from Neo. Neo question was based on an existing claim while one is still waiting for payment, and what happens if that person passes away. The law currently states that if somebody passes away, let's say Utanya claim today, and then 6, 7, or 12 months later you pass away, it's a loss to the family. The RF closes that particular claim. The law states that they cannot continue with the claim, and no one will take over the claim. So it's unfortunate for it's unfortunate that the people he's leaving behind will suffer. Remember the claim that was, let's say, he would then maybe put in a claim for loss of the hand or whatever the medical term would be. Now, when the person passes away, we cannot come and claim and change the claim and say the person has died as a result of an accident. So the law doesn't allow us to do that. You had a second question. I can't remember how to modeling, but I'll leave my numbers on the comment box, and then we'll talk about your second question, Neil. Natalie, categories of claiming. The law states that people will be compensated for if they've suffered 30% bodily injury. And how do we determine that bodily injury? We rely heavily on the medical records that we get from your treating doctor. If your treating doctor says you've sustained 27% bodily injury, the RF will only compensate for compensate for your medical expenses. Oh yeah, the law states that anything below 30%, the RF can only compensate for your medical expenses. They believe, the medical practitioner believe that one, a person who sustained that percentage of injury can still be able to go and look for work, or can still be able to work. You asked a question about an accident, and there is no case that is registered. For the RF relies heavily on your medical records, one, to put in a claim for you, but then also to verify there was an accident. They rely heavily on the police records. So without police records, there's no way the RF can be able to lodge the claim. And to claim it, the period that one has to claim at the RF during a collision would then mean two vehicles involved in the accident. If the driver of the wrongdoer is known, the RF will give you at least a period of 3 years to come and put in a claim. If it's a hit and run, you would have 2 years to come and put in a claim. So if the claim has happened at least a year ago, one is still covered in terms of the law. But going back to the 3 years, or going back to the collision, the 3 years in a case a minor, 3 years will start at the age of 18. So if somebody is like an accident, they're only 11 and now they're 19, they can come back to the RF and put in their claim. A person who is mentally disturbed, also like an accident maybe about 10 years ago, and they were mentally disturbed, and a medical proof that this person was mentally disturbed, they can come back to the RF and put in their claim. But all those things, a minor or a mentally disturbed one, if it was a hit and run, if it was a hit and run, you have 2 years to come and claim. Whether one or adult or you're mentally disturbed, the law gives you 2 years to claim. After 2 years, you're no longer covered. That's the validity period that Natalie was asking about. Mr. September, thanks a lot for the comments. Infrastructure, speak to your province if you've got areas that you feel there is a high, or that you see that there is a high number of accidents, or that you see that there is a high visibility of pedestrians and motorists, and you think speed calming measures can prevent accidents from happening. Speak to your road Department of Community Safety in the province, and if they can't do it, then we are always in touch with those. We are always available to assist where possible, and I'm sure we can help. We can come and help with the what do we call this? With the interventions. Abud Bongani, a very good question. Middlemen. Look, I'm going to start it, answer your question in this way. One, the law, to claim, you've got two choices or two ways in which you can claim from the RAF. One, you can claim directly. You can come directly to the RAF and claim. You don't need a lawyer. Two, on a right to make use of an attorney to claim. If you've got maybe you feel out or if you feel out your matter is too complicated, you can make use of a lawyer. So hundreds of people buy it through an attorney mainly because of they've been told, or when you go to the RF through an attorney, you get more as opposed to when you go to you go direct to the RAF. We've done an analysis and we've seen that an analysis of the claims that we've paid, we've noted that 90% of the claims that were directed actually received more than 90% of the claimants that came directly to the RF actually received more than the ones that went through the attorney. But then what the RF is doing is that we have proposed to the government a new bill. In this new bill, what we're proposing is that people will no longer get the lump sum. People will no longer need an attorney to go through the RAF. The focus of this new bill would be on rehabilitation of the claimant. So one, people will come directly. They will no longer need an attorney. Two, when they're compensated, they'll get about 20% of their money as a lump sum, and the rest of their money they will get it as a monthly installment or as a monthly salary. Why are we doing that? Because of Thabo gets 6 million rand, 2-3 years down the line, the money is gone and he's suffering. His children or his family is suffering because of Thabo blew away the 6 million rand. So the purpose of this new bill is to remove the attorney for the middleman, and also to make sure that the money that the RF gives you or pays you for is used for what it was claimed for. I think there's something that I'm missing. I hope that came from Gomang related to the driver's licenses. Maybe it could be from September. What I mentioned was that we work strictly with municipalities throughout the country. They help us identify people who would want to pursue a career in driving, especially the ones who would want to become truck drivers, and then we enroll them into the youth driver development program. We start them with learner's licenses, driver's licenses, and then we pay also for their medical professional driver's permit. Last year we did Krugersdorp. This year my intention was to do Mafikeng and Zerast municipality. I've been in talks with the municipality in Mafikeng. I think I've went there more than 5 times. They're just not coming on board. I'm now focusing all my energy on Zerast. So this year, the municipality in Zerast have identified 40 candidates for us who will be getting driver's licenses, learner's license, driver's license, and professional driver's permit from the RAF. Yeah, I think I've captured all the questions, Tabang.
Tabo, there's just more questions coming through in the chat. If you can just maybe check in the chat while I give Temba. I see your hand has been up for some time. While Tabo's checking the chat, you can come through with your question. That is the last question I'm taking from Temba, and then we'll go back to Tabo just to wrap up the question and answer session. Temba, you can come through.
Dumelang.
Yes, we are here.
Yes, very informative presentation, Mr. Makwela. My question was basically on NPOs. Basically, I would like to ask on behalf of other NPOs who would like to do the projects that will assist with reducing the road accidents they mostly occur in rural communities. So my question is, do you also can assist such projects that want to build body speed humps, that want to refill the potholes, because most of the accidents that occur in rural communities are due to poor infrastructure. And the youth in our community have tried to speak with our local councillors and the government to assist. So I feel I was asking my question, is it possible for the NRF to assist NPOs that want to actually do such projects in the rural communities? Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Temba. Tabo, have you noted the questions in the chat box, and maybe can you just wrap up by also answering this one that was raised by Temba?
Yeah.
Tabo, are you still with us? Dr. Tabo? I think
he's still with us, but he's struggling to connect. Okay.
Okay, he's here.
Okay. I'm in now. Somehow I'm unable to unmute myself. I think your settings that side doesn't allow us to unmute ourselves. All right, Abuti Temba, thanks a lot for the question. I see you've asked me the question on the other side, on the chat box. What I mentioned is that we accept proposals, and all the proposals that are coming into the RAF are being dealt with by the Proposals Adjudication Committee. What they're looking for from NPOs or NGOs or public benefit or associations as unique programs, the committee will not fund a proposal and that does or wants to do the same thing that the RF is doing. Their question, the other is that you guys are able to do speed humps together with the provinces. Why do you want to fund a non-governmental organization for the same thing that you're doing? So they are very strict in terms of what do you call? In terms of the programs that they are funding. So what I can advise you to do is perhaps speak to the officer, Sis Mutabi, and they'll probably assist. And where they need some sort of assistance, they always engage us or write to us. I'm sure they'll also send a request for assistance to the Road Traffic Management Corporation or RTIA, and any of the transport entities that can be able to assist will come in and assist. Yeah, and then September, I'll share my contact details, email address, and contact number on the chat group for future engagement. Yeah, thanks a lot, Taba.
Tabo, there's colleagues from Tlegstop that are saying that the Matlasana local municipality is ready to partner with you in terms of the licensing program. I don't know if there's a possibility, but they seem to be very keen. I see in the chat box, they've texted twice that Matlosana, which is in Matlo-Tlegstop, that those areas are ready to partner with you. These colleagues work closely, like Bongani, he works closely with the municipality. So they're progressive of that municipality there.
All right, let me quickly answer that. Last year I did Matlosana municipality. I was working very closely with the office here, our Cindy, she's the Go Youth Desk. We did Matlasana, we did several, I think about 20 or 30 licenses, candidates, and then they're all issued with driver's licenses. So unfortunately this year we have to move to a different municipality. And I was saying, we're working with Mafikeng, and we're also working with the Zeerust municipalities. So unfortunately, we won't be able to go back to Tlexo. We've done it the previous financial year. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Thabo. Thank you for the presentation and your answering of the questions. I'm going to move to our next segment, which is with Dr. Rosh Mamabolo, who is going to present to us the business canvas model. Abuti Rams, can you just make Dr. Rosh a host so he's unable to do all the things that administrators can able to do? So basically, colleagues, what Dr. Rosh is going to present is a concept called the business canvas model, which helps you to structure your organization, your company, your non-profit company, your NPO, or a project. You know, how do you put it in a sense that makes business sense? Number one, that can help you understand your business and its core functions, number two, and also that can help you sort of have a structured way of presenting your business to potential funders and potential partners. And or your project, how do you structure a project in such a way that it makes sense? It's a bankable business case that the RAF can fund, that RTIA can look into partnering with. As you have heard from our colleagues, especially the colleagues from RTIA, Mr. Ramasipa, and also the colleague from RAF, Thabo, that they are looking to partner with organizations on the ground in terms of how to help them partner with them, fund them, and just launch operational projects on the ground. So this session ties in well with just the sessions that we've just had before. Dr. Rosh is an expert in enterprise development and concept development. So he'll be able to assist you, to help you to structure your company, your NGO, your cooperative, your proposal, your project plan in a way that can make sense and can help you achieve a lot of the things that will take years to achieve. You know, it's a systematic approach. It's used worldwide. The Tsogo Road Safety Program used the business canvas model to sort of get it off the ground. We are here because of this concept that we applied its principles, and we were able to get this far, get funding from TITA in our first season. Now we are back, and the Road Accident Fund was able to partner with us. So colleagues, please get your pens, get your papers out, write notes. This is a very important session. Dr. Rosh normally does it in a day or two or half a day at least, but he's gonna do it in 30 minutes. And colleagues, please pay attention. This is very beneficial. This is where the workshop begins. So now we are workshopping you now for real. And please get as much as you can out of Dr. Rosh. He's an expert. He speaks throughout the continent. Prepare your questions and comments at the end of the session. But the most important thing is to really listen and listen attentively and get as much as possible. Have a blank sheet in front of you. He'll explain why. Dr. Rosh, I'd like you to take over the session now. Yes, Bongana, I saw your question in the session. Rams, can you assist maybe with sending a template of the business canvas model to the groups quickly so that colleagues can also have it on their side while Dr. Rosh is going through it? But colleagues, don't despair. If you check on your screen, there is a presentation that's going to be broadcast live, and we'll also share it in the groups after Dr. Rosh is presented. Thank you very much, Dr. Rosh. You can take over the presentation now.
Thank you, Tabang. Thank you to Abuti Rams and Tato and good what time is it? Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. Good morning, colleagues. Thanks for your time. So as Tabang has said, we usually spend usually about a day brainstorming on business model canvas, and I think also what Tabang mentioned is that this is important not only just for your profit making business, but it's important for all types of projects or businesses that you might have, or any initiative that you might have, a campaign of some sort. Apply this business model canvas on your project, on your business, on your NPO, and it will be able to assist you in working out how your program or project or business is going to run. So it's important that you are able to systematically plan your business. So for the purpose of this exercise, have a blank piece of paper and a pen or a pencil so that you can start, and I'm sure that at the end you will be able to get the notes after this session, but start throwing your ideas of how your project, if you have one already, let's use that as part of this exercise, and you then can start filling it up. And by the time we are done with this presentation, you'll be able to see how your business or initiative or NPO operates. And once you can see it in one page, you will then be able to improve on it, right? Remember, it's important that you are able to see your project so that you can improve on it. If you can't see it, it becomes very difficult to improve something that you can't see, right? It becomes very difficult to go and look for funding and secure funding from projects like your RAF, RTMC. So if you can't see it, it becomes very difficult to secure funding. So don't leave the success of your business to luck, right? Luck is not a business model, right? There is no strategy called luck, right? Don't leave your success of your business to making noise about they're not funding us, making noise about I can't get funding. Making noise is not a strategy. Sit down and plan your business properly. Let it have all the elements that's required for a project or an NPO that can run successfully. So it's important that you have what we call a business model. Describe to us how this project is going to work, how this business is going to work. In other words, how are you going to create, deliver, and capture value? So how are you going to deliver? How are you going to create value? How are you going to deliver that value to your customers and the community that you're trying to impact? And how are you going to capture that value? In other words, how are you going to make money out of that value? Because it's important, even if you're running an NGO, for instance, it's important that your NGO gets money, it's generating revenue so that it can be sustainable. Because if it's not sustainable, you might be a one-hit wonder. You just have this one initial project and your project dies. And what it can do is it can actually cause damage to your community because you're going to raise expectations that in a long term you will not fulfill, because this project that you initiated is not financially sustainable. So you might actually create more damage than a solution. So it's important that you are able to plan your business model in such a way that it works. And we call it a business model canvas because you are able to see the entirety of your project or business or NPO in one page, right? So you're able to see how it works, the mechanics of how your business works, how money comes in, how money goes out, how everything works in your business in one page, or what we call a canvas in one space. So that's what a business model canvas is about. So we are going to go through it. I'm going to take you. So by the time we are done with this presentation, so I have about 20 minutes or so. So I'm gonna have to rush through it. And then maybe afterwards you can then ask questions and we can have a discussion. But these are the elements, right? So in one sheet, you should be able to have done all these elements of what we call a business model canvas. So there are 9 elements, or what we call 9 building blocks to a business model canvas. I'm going to take you through each one of them one at a time. So as I'm going through it one at a time, please start thinking of how these elements are going to be applicable to your business, to your NPO, to your project, to your campaign. So as I'm going through it, just start jotting down some of the elements. And if you have any questions or you don't understand a certain aspect of what this model canvas is, then let's discuss later on. So for the ease of making this easier for you to understand, I'm going to adopt as an example or as a case study that I'll use for myself. I'm going to adopt a Scholar Patrol project that I'm going to initiate. So I'm using this as an example. It's not something that I've done myself, but I'm using this as an example so that you are able to see. And I'm glad one of you mentioned the fact, I think it's in Renek, where you mentioned that the number of accidents because of scholars and all these kind of things, and there's a need for having a Scholar Patrol initiative. So it will be easier for me to use this. And you know, if you're running a different project, that's still okay. But this is an example of how we apply the elements of a business model canvas to your campaign. Right. So let's go. So the first one of your business model canvas is what we call customer segment, right? So who are your customers? So it's important to have customers that are going to pay for your services, even if you are running an NGO. Let me give you an example of an NGO, say for instance, an NGO that does recycling work, right? So they go out there, they collect recyclable stuff, and they build artwork out of that recycled stuff and they sell it. So they have customers that are buying recycled products. So it doesn't really matter whether you are a for-profit or a non-profit, whatever the case might be, you need to be able to generate revenue. You need to have customers. And one of the mistakes that I see entrepreneurs do is they mistake their sponsors for customers. Your sponsors are not your customers. Your sponsors are people who might assist you once off, right? To get equipment, to buy material. And it's a once off. Don't treat your sponsors as your customers each and every time you're going to them asking for money. They are not your customers. So understand, find out who your most important customers are. What are their age groups? Where are they? Are they urban? Are they rural? Are they men? Are they female? Are they young? Are they old? What is their spending patterns? You know, how do they spend their money? Where do they spend their money? When do they spend their money, right? Do they spend it during mostly December time, throughout the year, right? Understand, again, the difference between what we call a customer and a consumer. So there's a difference between a customer and a consumer. Often these two people are the same, but there are quite a lot of instances where these two are different, right? So I go to a restaurant, I order food, I eat, right? I'm a customer because I'm going to pay for the food, but I'm also a consumer because I'm consuming the food, right? So this is an instance where a customer and a consumer are the same. There are instances where the two are different, right? So take, for instance, Tsogo Road project. For instance, our customers are you, right? But our consumers are you because you're consuming the content. Our customers are our sponsors, right? They might be RAF or RMTMC or whoever. Those are our customers. So understand who's consuming your product and who's paying for your product. So now when we apply my Scholar Patrol case study to this segment, who are my primary customers? So my primary customers are my students, my scholars, hence it's a Scholar Patrol. I'm assisting them. This service that I'm offering is for them, right? Then my secondary customers might be drivers because they are the ones that I'm helping to avoid hitting the students, right? But my primary customers are my students. So I know who they are. They are, in fact, they are my consumers, not necessarily my customers. They are my consumers because they consume this service. How old are they? Because it's primary and high schools, they might be between 6 and 18 years old. There are males and there are females. Depending on where I'm doing this Scholar Patrol service, it might be in a rural village, it might be in a town, it might be in a township. So you need to know where your customers are. Spending patterns, well, they're not necessarily spending, but they are people who are using the road during school calendar months. So in December, school holidays, so I know my customers are not there, right? But I know they are busy during school calendar months. So I know January to November, that's where my customers are busy at, right? So again, understand who your customer and your consumers are. My customer is the school because maybe they're sponsoring, but my consumer, the people who are consuming my products, my service, are the scholar patrollers, are the scholars, and of course, they are drivers as well. So it's important to understand who's consuming and who's paying. So that's the first component of your business model canvas. The second component is value proposition. So now that you know who these customers are, you know their age group, you know where they are, you know their spending patterns, you know who the customer, the consumer is, what value are you offering these customers or these consumers? What value are you bringing to them? So it's important to understand the value that you are bringing to these people, right? So what value are you offering them, right? So understand that they're trying to get a job to be done. So your job is to give them value. No value, no business. No business, no revenue coming in. So understand what value are you offering these people? Which problem or what pain are you solving for these people, right? So understand what problem or what value are you adding to these people. So it's important to understand that difference, right? So let's go back to my scholar patrol, right? What value am I offering the scholars, right? I know the service that I'm offering, but what is the value that this service gives them? So the service that I'm offering is I'm offering to stop cars on the road so that they can cross the road. That's the service that I'm offering. But what does the value that this service gives to them? The value that they derive from this service is safety, right? They are safe. As a result of this service, they are safe, right? So they're not necessarily deriving the stop sign as a value. They are deriving health, safety, peace of mind. That's the value that they are deriving from my service, right? So understand the value that you're offering. They arrive to school on time. That's the value that I'm offering. They're able to focus and concentrate, knowing very well that they're not going to get hit by a car after school, or they're scared because they're going to arrive late because they're going to hit by a car in the morning. There's buses and trucks and taxis passing all over. So the value that I'm offering them is safety, is peace of mind, is healthy scholars that are able to use their time to focus on their studies, not being scared that they're going to arrive to school late. That's the value that I'm offering. Again, understand that no value, you don't have customers. Your customers will not be able to pay for the value. So what value are you offering them? So understand, crystallize, spend time thinking through the value. There's a difference between a product that you're offering and the value that they're deriving from the product that you're offering. Understand that difference, right? So you know, what is the value that you're offering these customers that you have identified? So try and spend more time with decoding what your value proposition is, right? So the third component of your business value canvas is, now that you know who these customers are, right? So you know them, you know the value that you're offering to these customers. How then do you deliver this value to your customers? How do you make sure that your customers are able to receive the value that you have? So you have your customers, you have the value. How do you deliver the value to your customers? Absolutely important that you understand how you are going to deliver this value to your customers. Do they come to you or do you go to them? How do they access this value? So let me give you an example. So if I'm running a learner license training program, so and I understand that there are learners who are in matric, so I know who they are, I know this is what they want, and I can offer them the values, I can train them, and they can pass their learner license first time. so they don't have to spend more time buying or not buying, paying for or failed because they failed. So I know that the value that I have is I can train them first time they can pass. Now, how do I deliver this value that I have to my students? Now, I can have a building where they can come and they take lessons and I train them. So in my building, there's desks, there's manuals, there's a whiteboard, and I train them on K53. That's the channel that I'm using. The channel that I'm using is a building, is a structure where they come to me and they access my services, right? Another way of delivering the value might be, for instance, we have a lockdown. We are on level 5. Now they can't come to me. They can't come to my building because they are locked into their houses. No problem. I can take this value that I have, I can put it online, and we can have classes via Zoom. Pretty much like what you and I are having now, where we are doing this workshop via Zoom. The channel that we are doing is no longer a physical channel, it's an online channel where they can access my value or my services. Now, it's important to think of your project. How do your customers access your services? Is it online? Is it a physical infrastructure? Do you go to them? Do they come to you? You know, crystallize that, make it clear, make it so sure that you know what channel you are using to access your customers and what channel are your customers using to access you. So understand that, crystallize that, know it. Now, back to my Scholar Patrol exercise, right? So my Scholar Patrol exercise, how do I deliver this value that I have to my students? Firstly, my students don't have to come to me. I have to go to where they are. I have to go to a busy intersection, a busy road. I have to physically go there, right? That's the channel that I have to use. I have to physically go there on the side of the road in a busy main road, right? During busy times, before or after school, that's where I have to be there, right? I need to be there before 8. I need to also be there, say maybe after 2 o'clock, because those are the busy times. That's the channel. I have to physically go there. That's how I deliver my value, right? Maybe there are sponsors, they know how to access me. The channel that they can access me is, I have a website, I've built a website where they can access me, the contact details. There's an email that they can access me. There's a phone, that's a channel that they can access me at. So how are you accessing your customers and how are your customers accessing you? What channel do you need for you to deliver to your customers and what channel do your customers need to access you, right? So it's important. There's a customer, I know who my customer is. There's a value, I know my value that my customers want. I know how to deliver the value to my customers and I know how my customers can access me. The fourth aspect is customer relationship. Now that I know who my customers and my consumers are, now that I know what the value that I'm delivering to them, now that I know how to access them and they know how to access me, how do I maintain this relationship going? It's important that you are able to maintain this relationship going. Avoid what I call a smash and grab approach. The only time that your customers get to know you is when you want money, is when you want something from them. So it's a smash and grab. Once they give you the money, you are gone. They no longer see you. Avoid doing business that way. Build relationships, right? Build relationships with the stakeholders. Build relationships with your customers. Build relationship with your local community. They might even come and help you fundraise. They might give you tools. They might give you equipment. They might endorse your project. Business is done based on relationships. Build those relationships because it becomes easier for you to raise funding when people know you. It becomes easier for you to get buy-in when people have that relationship with you. It becomes easier for people to give you money when they've built trust between you and them. So it starts with a relationship first, then other benefits will follow through. You don't get married to someone that you don't have a relationship with. Build a relationship with first and then get married. If you like that person, you get married. If you don't like that person, you don't get married to them. So Customer relationship is absolutely critical. Call on them, check on them, send them a WhatsApp, an SMS. How are they doing? It's COVID times. Are you guys okay? Grow with your customers. As they grow, because you have that relationship with you, they'll grow with you. As they get a bigger budget, because they have that relationship with you, they'll come to you for more projects because they have that, they know how you work, they like how you work. As they grow with you, right? So back to my scholar patrol. Again, avoid smash and grab. So build relationship with your customers. You know, once they have endorsed your project, invite them to your website, you know, put their logos on your website, give them reports, involve them in suggestions on how to improve your service, you know, make them part and parcel of your program. Let them be your partners in your program, right? So it's important that if you want insurance companies to partner with you, invite them. Don't just say because they're not sponsoring you, you don't want to invite them. Maybe they don't have a budget this year because COVID, they had to spend their money elsewhere. You know, invite them to say, it's fine, I understand, but I want you to be part of my project. I'll put you on my website. I'll put your logo on my website as acknowledgement of you being our partners. Maybe next time you might have a budget. Maybe next time you might donate equipment and things like that. Build relationships. It's important, right? So how are you going to remember? Again, you make money, more money from your current customers than from your new customers. Why is it so? Because with your current customers, you don't have to advertise to them. You don't have to spend time convincing them and pitching to them and doing all sorts of things. It's easier because you have built that relationship. You don't have to market to them. With new customers, you need to send them flyers, you need to spend time writing letters of proposal, going to pitch to them. All these things is time, and time is money, right? And then at the end of that, they still don't accept you. So, you know, you make more money from your current customers. You make more money from the current relationships that you have because you don't have to convince those people, right? Now, all these things, your customers, your value proposition, how you deliver your value to your customers through a channel, and how you build those relationships, all these things need to give you money. It needs to translate into revenue. It needs to translate into money coming into your project, into your NPO, into your campaign, into your business, right? Now, here it's important. One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen entrepreneurs make with revenue streams is they only focus on just one revenue stream, right? So I run now that my students have gotten learners, right? They now want to get a driver's license, right? So now I need to teach them on how to drive a car or a motorbike, for instance, because they need a license for a motorbike. Let's use a car because it's a simpler example, right? So they pay for me to train them on how to use on how to drive, right? So that's the one revenue stream that I'm getting, payment for training to drive. As I'm driving, as I'm taking them through the township, as I'm taking them through the driving lessons, now I'm only getting one revenue stream. But how about we look at other revenue streams from the same business, right? So I have this car, it's driving through the township. People can see this car. Why don't I convert that car into a billboard, a mobile billboard? So I can actually use my car. On the side of my car, local businesses in my area can advertise. They can we can patch their logos on my car, and they pay, say for instance, they pay 500 Rand every month to advertise on this car. It makes business sense because this car is always driving around. I'm teaching learners, so it's always driving around. People get to see this car on the road, and they get to see your logo of your business on my car, and that's free, that's advertising, right? So 500 Rand. How about I get 4 local businesses to advertise on my car, right? 2,000 that I get to advertise on my car every month. That's a lot of money, right? Over and above the training that I'm giving, the money that I'm making from teaching these learners how to drive. I have a website. How about the same businesses, they can advertise on my website? So instead of paying 500 rand, I'm charging them 1,000. Advertise on the car, advertise on the website. 4 businesses advertising 4,000, you know, another revenue stream, right? So start thinking of other multiple sources of revenue over and above just the one primary source of revenue, right? So to my Scholar Patrol exercise, right? I'm getting sponsorship fees from companies. Assurance is paying me every month because I'm having their logos on our clothes, right? There's school contributions and the communities, the schools. There's 5 schools around in my area. They each contribute 200 rand. 5 of them, it's 1,000 every month. That's another revenue stream. Oh, we also have fundraising events once a month. Road safety once a month, we raise money from there. There's donations. There's all these other revenue streams that I can get. Don't focus on just one revenue stream. Start thinking of what are the other possible revenue streams that I can derive from my for my business, right? So this is all part of your business model canvas. So on the right of your business model canvas, all these aspects: customer segment, value proposition. How do I channel my value proposition to my customers? How do I show them love? How do I maintain relationships with them? How do I grow with them? And oh yeah, I've identified some form of revenue streams. All these things are focused on money coming into the business. All of these are in one page. You are able to see who are your customers, where are the values coming from, how are you delivering the value, how are you maintaining relationships, how are you maximizing your revenue streams. All of this are in one page. You're able to see all of this in one page. Now, you know how the money comes into the business. Let's look at how we're going to spend the money. Let's look at how the money is going to go out of the business, right? Now, firstly, we are going to now spend money on what we call key resources. What are the resources that we need? What are the assets that we need for us to be able to render value to our customers? What are these assets, these once-off assets that we need, right? So it's important to know, do we need physical assets? Do we need funding? Do we need training? You know, do we need some softwares? What are these assets that we need to spend money on acquiring into our business? Now, on my Scholar Patrol example, I need to have safety clothes. It's important that we have visible safety clothes so that the cars can see us. It flickers at night, maybe when it's cloudy. We are able to have raincoats, right? Because we need to render the services under all conditions. Do we have safety visible clothes? Do we have signage? Scholar Patrol, I need to have the stop signs. Do I have the stop signs? Do I have the boards maybe that we can put a meter away as a warning? Scholar Patrol ahead. Do we have those signs? Are we trained? Do we know how to use the boards? Do we know when to use the boards? Do we know how to read the traffic? Do we know how to perform if there's an emergency? Maybe a car has hit a student, a learner. Do we know how to do first aid training? Are we trained? Are we sufficiently trained? Do we have a website, right? So we want to attract sponsors and other people. Do we have a website? Do we have a phone? Maybe they want to call us. Do we have a phone? All of these are key resources that we need for our Scholar Patrol program. Now, what you need to do is you need to be able to go out there, get quotations for all these things that you need for your key resources. When you go ask for funding and they ask you, how much do you need? Don't thumbsuck, I think I need 50,000. No. Know exactly how much you need. I need 2,000 for safety clothes. I need 3,000 for stop signs, signage. I need another 2,000 for training on first aid, on this and that, right? Get quotations now. Don't wait for until when you have to now go look for funding. Get quotations now. Know how much you're going to need to raise for your program, right? So get quotations and from there be able to save those, file those, have them handy, draft a budget, add them up. This is the total amount of what I need, right? Now, 7. Remember, there's 9 blocks. Now, 7. Now that you have this key resources, now that you have the stop signs, you have the safety clothes, you have a website, you have a phone, you have all these things, Then what? What are the key activities that you need to render, right? For your scholar patrol activities, right? So if you are running a learner training activity, what are the activities there? A learner comes through. What is the activity number one? They go, they register, they bring their ID, for instance, right? They bring their activity. That's activity number one. Activity number two, they complete forms. Activity number three, they will look for a date for them to come right there, to come for lessons. Activity number four, right? So have those activities step by step. Don't run your project from your head, right? Most of the entrepreneurs, they run their projects from their head. When they get hit by a car and they're in hospital, nobody knows what's happening in their program. So in other words, when you get hit by a car, because your business is running from your head, your business also is hit by a car. And because you're in hospital, your business is also in hospital because your business is in your head. Avoid running your business or your campaign from your head. Write your activities down step by step. If you're not there, your team members can follow step number one, step number two. The business can run without you, right? So no, write those activities down, test them. Are they working? Test them if someone else can run those activities without you, right? Now, when we use my Scholar Patrol example, activity number one, written down, arrive on time. So we might be even more specific. Arrive on site at 6:30, right? Arrive on site, road R21 intersection at 6:30. That's activity number one. Activity number two, we then do a roll call. Who's there? Like your security guards, when they stand online, we all do a roll call. We check everybody's there, everybody's in good condition, no one is sick. With COVID now, we need to run temperatures and make sure that you're all masked. So run a roll call. Step number three, let's now, because everybody's there, let's set up the signages. Put the boards, Scholar Patrol ahead, put the cones, or let's take position, right? Step number four, let's all get into our safety visible attire. Are we all in our caps? Are we all in our visible attire, right? Step number five, let's take position. Where do we all stand, right? Who does the what? Who does the monitoring? Who does the stop sign? Who does the patrolling of the learners and all those things? Now it's 8:30, 8 o'clock, or it's 7:30, we start patrolling. The learners are passing by, they're going to school, right? And then after 8 o'clock, say maybe at 8:30, we finish, we draft a report. Were there any incidents? Did someone hit our cone? Were there any taxi drivers who were just bypassing us? We write at the report. We take stats. If we take stats, how many learners passed through? These are our key activities. Know how your campaign, your project runs step by step, right? Know who's supposed to do what, when, right? So see it, be able to see it step by step. Don't run the business from your head. Put it down in writing, right? So that's building block number 7. Number 8, right? Who are our key partners, right? So who are these people that we are going to involve in our campaign, involve in our project, involve in our business, right? Who are we partnering with to do this thing? What are they bringing on board, right? Okay, so I'm doing a Scholar Patrol program. I can't just rock up on the side of the road and just put stop signs and just do, I can't do that. I need to get permission. I need to get a permit. So who do I go to? I need to involve my local municipality, right? I need to go to them. I need to say to them, look, we want to do this program. Can you give us permit, bylaws and things like that? Give us permission so that we can go set up there. One of you mentioned something like there were quite a lot of accidents in a short space of time. There were 9 or there were 10 accidents. We think we need to do a Scholar Patrol program. Please give us a permit. They give you a permit. Now they are your partners, right? Is there anything else they can offer? Maybe they can offer you visible clothing. Maybe they can offer you signs. Maybe they can paint the road where you're going to do your Scholar Patrol and put some zebra crossing where you're going to do Scholar Patrols. Involve the municipality as part of your key partners. We're going to need traffic cops to partner with us, because with the support of traffic cops, they can come and stand on the side of the road. Guess what? Suddenly, the taxi drivers will not just go on our side. They'll, because they can see there's traffic cops, they start to obey. When we say stop, they stop, right? So we're going to need traffic cops. We're going to need support of schools around, because with the support of school principals, they can talk to the learners to obey the rules of the road, so that they can not just cross the road anywhere, they can look for where we are and they can try and cross the road from our scholar patrol activities. Invite government, Department of Trade, RAF, all these other partners, the local chiefs. We need local chiefs to buy into our program, so that they can talk to the community, so that they can respect the scholar patrols, involve them. Your local political local community leaders, involve them. Let people know that you're going to be there. This is not just about you, it's about the community. Involve them. And some of them, as you're involving them, they might actually bring resources with them. They might donate assets, they might donate training, they might bring all these other things that you might need for you to be able to do your program. And sometimes we complain, I don't have money because I can't do this program. Actually, maybe because you have not involved other people. That's why you don't have this money. Involve other people, they might bring other things. And ultimately, you might not necessarily even need money to kickstart your program. So key partners, absolutely important. Invite them. Involve them. They might give you permits, they might assist with assets, they might assist with training, they might assist with clothing, they might assist with all other things. Invite your local partners. It's very important to build those relationships with them. It's very important that they might partner with you, right? So lastly is all these things, your key resources, your key processes, you are inviting other people to come and join with you. All these things results in a cost structure. Now, draft a budget. How much are you going to need to buy the key resources, to buy the stop signs, to buy the clothing, to buy all this? How much are you going to need, right? On a monthly basis, how much are you going to need to run this program, right? So back to my Scholar Patrol exercise. I might need to, for instance, pay stipends for my patrollers, right? So I have 10 of them, 5 on each side of the road. I might need to pay them, right? How much do I have in mind to pay them? We might need safety clothes. We have a code, we need 3,000 for safety clothes. We might need signage. We have a code, we need 5,000 to get signage. We need to train my patrollers. I need training manuals, right? We need somebody to come train them. There's a training cost. I need a website. There's a hosting fee. I need a mobile phone so that we can communicate on WhatsApp. All these things, get a budget, right? Work out a budget of how much once off do you need and how much on a monthly basis do you need to run this project on a monthly basis. So that it's easier for you when you approach funders, you are able to say, I need funding to get assets. This is how much it's going to cost me. And if you can, for me to run this campaign for the next 6 months or for the next 12 months, this is how much I'm going to need to run it on a monthly basis. Know these things, know them, plan for them, get quotations, draft a budget. Don't thumbsuck a budget. You have time, call, send emails, have an exact budget of how much you need to run this project, right? Now, all these things, all of them on one page, you are able to see how the money comes into the business. You're able to see where the money goes out of the business, all in one page. It's important that you see these things in one page, because when you can see them in one page, you are able to pick up where the gaps are. You're able to say, no, but this is not so strong. I need to add more here. I think there are more revenue streams that I can actually add more revenue streams. I can get more money. I keep partners. There's more other partners that I can bring on board, even if they're not paying, but I'm sure with the endorsement, it will make it easier for me to believe my project, right? So all of these things, you need to be able to see your project in one page. You need to be able to see where the gaps are, close those gaps, make your business model tight, right? So it's important that once you can see it and once you are happy with it, then you can grow it, you can improve it, right? You can't improve something that you can't see, right? An artist needs to be able to have a draft of their painting on paper, and then they can improve it. The same with your business. You can't improve it unless you can see it on paper. And once you can see it on paper, then you can say, okay, now how do I grow this thing? Okay, maybe during the week we can focus on, in the morning, we can focus on scholars. But how about we focus on busy intersections, not necessarily scholars. We can go to town, maybe the traffic lights are not working. We can go and we can patrol there, right? Maybe during peak holiday times, the shopping malls are busy. There's a lot of cars coming in and out and the traffic lights are not working. We can go and we can do this program. So we can copy this model, we can apply it as a holiday program. Oh, there's a church conference and there's a lot of people coming through. Let's take this model and let's go and do it at a church conference. And maybe the church can pay for our services. Oh, there's a business conference. It's an annual business conference. There's a lot of people coming through there. Let's copy this model and apply it at a business conference. We can run safety camps. We can do road safety and sports programs, on and on and on. You can copy your business model to any other program as a way of growing your business. But you can't grow your business if you can't see it on paper. It's difficult to improve an idea while it's still in your head. So put it down in writing, close gaps, improve on it, make it stronger. Then, look at how you can grow it to other opportunities, right? And you can have other companies sponsoring your program, and you can have them, instead of just doing scholars, you can do other programs. You can do traffic controls in other areas, and with sponsors, they can sponsor and they are visible. Again, businesses don't fail or ideas don't fail because they're not good ideas or because they don't have a good product. They fail mostly because we have not identified who our key customers are, and we have not really identified a working, profitable business model. So it's important. Don't leave the success of your idea to luck. Plan around it and strategize around it, and then go out there. There's funding. There's all these programs. You have been listening to some of my previous colleagues have been talking about all these programs that they run. There's funding. There's all these programs. You just need to do your homework right and then approach them with all these things worked out. And then they will be able to assist you in taking your program forward. But again, don't just only focus on them. Focus on all other stakeholders as well that you've identified. Go to them and get their blessings, get their permissions. They might sponsor you with other things, not necessarily with money, but with other things as well. On that note, thank you very much. If there's any questions, Tabang, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rosh Mamabolo, for that presentation on the business model canvas. I'm going to take questions, colleague. Can you please raise your hand digitally so that I can start noting them? We just have 5 minutes for question and answer session with Dr. Rosh before we move to our next session. Colleagues, Dr. Rosh, also take note of questions in the chat box. Yes. Yeah, please take note of questions in the chat box as well. Colleagues, can we just take questions quickly? Anyone with a question, or was the presentation that clear? Going once before I move, going twice. Anyone with a question? Remember, when you raise your hand, you do it digitally on the left, on the right hand side at the bottom. You click more and then you say raise your hand. Any questions, colleagues? Okay, I just see people saying thank you. They're not responding they're not asking any questions. So maybe your presentation was clear and precise. Okay, I'm going to move to our next session, which is also a workshopping presentation on social media. Abuti Rems, please, in the next 20 minutes, just do your presentation, and then we're gonna go and do what you call the panel discussion with the colleagues from the Department of Road and Safety and our other colleagues. We're just gonna give them a chance. But for now, just quickly run through your presentations, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, thank you so much, Tabang, Bebe. Thank you to the previous colleagues, and thank you to our partners and the most important people, the participants, for joining this session all the way to the point where we are right now at 12 o'clock right now. I just want to share a little bit of presentation on running or driving road safety education via social media. But before I could do that, of course, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Thabang Phala, otherwise known as Abuti Rems, and I am an entrepreneur, but I'm also a digital strategist by profession. That's why I'm even presenting this presentation on social media, driving road safety education using social media. But I'm also the managing director of Abuti Rems Foundation. So today we'll be speaking about these three components of my presentation. One is creating creative content. Number two, we'll be looking into social media case studies that we could learn from and take advantage of. And also, we'll be looking into the home task. Something that I didn't do, I would like to correct right now, is to maybe share this presentation with audio. So I'm going to stop the share and then try to share with audio right now, so that everyone can hear as I'll be doing that. All right, thank you so much. So we'll continue with that. We are on the third component. We're saying we're going to be looking into the home tasks as well. So the home tasks are for participants who will be part of our program for the next 3 months. And I'll share that information as time goes on. So these are the things that my presentation will cover. The first one is creative content, where I'll be looking into creating creative content on for road safety education using social media. So why the need for social media on road safety education? It is said that social networks are the best platform for increasing public engagement and promoting positive behavior on the roads. You know, we've seen RAF, we've seen RTMC, we've seen other colleagues within the road safety using social media to educate people about road safety. And we also seen internationally that there has been some countries across the globe, especially in Australia, where they have been using social media to educate people about road safety. And in South Africa, there's a point in case that we will speak about later on from the Western Cape province, where they were able to use social media to, you know, spread the message of road safety. So, and it was predicted that around those, you know, the world, people have been using social media for promotion of road safety, and that has been done in 2018, 2019. But how do we use social media for road safety education? Number one, we need to create what we call interactive content. So interactive content, I mean creating infographics. So infographics are these things that are showing, you know, graphs, they're showing, you know, what do you call these things? Icons and whatnot, but I'll show you an example of an infographic later on. But then also you can create what we call, social media videos, which are like 30 to 60 seconds. I know that on WhatsApp, you have a limit of 30 seconds per slide. So you could do 30 to 60 second videos to, you know, share a little bit of message around road safety so that people are able to understand what you are saying in a video format. But the third element that you could do is to create informative posters. By creating informative posters, you can capture pictures, and then from there you do nice posters with a little bit of messaging. And I'll show you an example of what we had done as Tsogo road safety. But then the second element of using social media is to post content regularly on social media. Let people not miss you on social media. if you're posting about road safety all the time, make sure that people are always seeing this message that you are putting out there. And the other thing that you could do also is to collaborate with other road safety agencies. By collaborating with them, it means that you could tag them on social media posts that you put up. If it is a Facebook post, tag them. You know, if it's on Twitter, you tag them as well. You include them so that they can retweet your content. They can share your content on Facebook. If it's on Instagram, you know, they can, you know, repost your content so that then you reach a larger audience. You are able to collaborate with those people. So that example of an infographic that I spoke about earlier on was with this one of that is taken from the World Health Organization. I'll just show you an example. So they were using this example saying that 3 out of 4 road deaths are among men. So you could see that they were able to highlight the green men there and then separate them from the lady there. But they use, you know, graphical representation of this in what we call infograph. So you could literally do this thing, but also this one just needs a little bit of sophistication in graphic design. So maybe you would need a graphic designer to do this thing for you. So, you know, I know that some of you are going to be receiving funding from TITA, RAF, and others. So you could then hire a graphic designer to assist you in this process as well. So then the other one example is the creative, informative, what do you call this thing? Informative posters. So informative posters, like you are trying to inform people about a specific topic, but using pictures, but have a small message, not a lot of content. So I'll give you an example with this one, that it's not sexy, but it's safe. So this is an example with a reflector. You know, you guys know reflectors because you are in the road safety space. So with the reflectors, we know that we have to wear them at night so that the cars that are coming in front of us are able, or behind us are able to see us. So, but we are then saying with our messaging that it might not be sexy, but it is safe. So, I mean, we also use an example of a person who was driving a bicycle that, you know, if you're going on cycling, then, you know, make sure that you are facing the oncoming traffic. So that's the type of message that we had there. But guess what? We were able to capture these moments using our phones, right? And then after using our phones, we put them up on design apps on the phones, and we're able to create that messaging, and then we shared it with other colleagues on social media. So that's the easier part about technology right now. So the last one I want to show you is with regards to videos, 30 seconds or 60 seconds videos. This is an example with the Western Cape province, where they were able to do a video to educate people about, not walking while not texting while walking, or not texting while driving. As earlier on, Mr. Ramson Masipa mentioned that we shouldn't be texting while driving, and I add that we shouldn't be going live as well while driving. So let me show you an example of this in a video format. Yeah, so essentially that is an example of that video that shows that if you can't even text while you are walking, why do you see the need for you to be texting while you are driving? And it's very important for you guys to also understand that this message also goes to you guys. You can't say that I'm the safest driver. There's no such thing, guys. While you're on the road, you are driving 5 cars, and it's so important for you guys to make sure that you don't text and drive or do whatever. If you see a friend who is texting while you are in the car with them while they're driving, make sure that they stop doing that. It's so important for you guys to do that, because it's going to save you and many people's lives. We're going to look into case studies of social media. I'm going to look into Share a Coke, Fees Must Fall, Not in My Name, and Monate Haufeng. I think these are the cases that you guys have noticed and you've seen on social media. If you guys can remember, there was this time where Coca-Cola did a campaign where they put names such as Karabo, Tabo, Tapang, Uhuru. They couldn't find Uhuru because Uhuru, his name is very difficult to find in Swahili. So, but they would look for Bongani and put Bongani on the Coke cans or Coke bottles. And ideally what they would do with that is to make people to go to the shops and buy Coke. And at the time it was competing with airtime. So they did this campaign to make people share a Coke, and then they took pictures, people took pictures and they put them up on social media. And it was a very interesting time to see and to, and it got a lot of sales for Coca-Cola. But the second example I want to share with you guys is the Christmas form. If you guys could remember how young people in universities used WhatsApp groups and also what you call Facebook groups. And then they gathered support, they informed other colleagues that we need to go on the streets and to protest against this exorbitant fees, and they must go down, they must fall. So they created this hashtag called Fees Must Fall, which helped them to get an ear from the then government, which was led by President Zuma at that time, and so that the fees must fall. You can question if the fees have fallen thus far, but yeah, that's a topic for another day. But the essence of this exercise to show you that it is possible to really start creating movements on social media. Imagine creating a hashtag that being safe is cool, on social media, and put it out there and get support and get colleagues around your communities and then working together, and then you can create that type of support. The other example that I would like to share with you is the Not In My Name march. The past month we just passed, the numbers of men still abusing women, has gone up, and also women abusing men has gone up as well. We need to be, guarding against gender-based violence. So this was a march organized by men, and I was part of the organizers of the march, where I made sure that the hashtag trended on Twitter, and then got the media on board, and make sure that young people are participating in their numbers, and we got men to go on the streets and make sure that they protest and say, no, enough is enough. So this is possible. You can do campaigns on social media using posters and getting hashtags out there, the content out there to protest. You don't necessarily have to be going to the street all the time, guys, but you could always do things on social media, and that's the essence of my presentation in sharing this thing. But the last one, the case study that I want to share is with Muesli. I don't know if you guys remember Muesli, and it was last year where she did a campaign with VW South Africa to raise awareness around not video calling and going live and texting and drinking and driving at the same time while you are driving. So I want to show you a video of what happened with that video. It was quite an informative one.
If you know any singers, dancers, rappers, DJs who can sing, dance, and rap. Nobody was harmed in the making of this accident.
Stand by and action.
I partnered with Volkswagen and DriveTruck to stop the myth Monate Haufeng.
Guys, we're going to be doing a lock off of the road. We're going to be doing an emergency stop so that it's very clear.
We've all done it. We've all lost ourselves over the festive season without thinking we may lose our lives, but the risk is real. Drinking and driving causes thousands of deaths on our road every single year. I got to see the impact on those left behind, but not everybody will. Make the change. Take the pledge in 2019. If you know any singers,
guys, Munati Wafela. You know, if we always say that Munata Wafela and then we're driving while, you know, while we're drinking while we're driving, I don't know which one you prefer. It really results into, you know, a lot of fatalities on the roads. And it's been said that the majority of people who are dying are young people between the ages of, you know, 22 and 25, within that range. We see, and I think it is because maybe some of us at that age in time, we are buying cars, you know, the Polo, and I think you guys have seen the VW drivers trend on social media that, you know, a lot of VW drivers are really, you know, doing the most, you know, they are doing the most and they are killing us on the roads. But I think we need to be very cautious of not drinking and driving. We cannot stress this thing anymore. We should be doing that, guys. We should be safe, being safe. The home task that I will be giving to all the participants who are going to be participating in the program for the next 3 months. Please remember that what we're going to be doing is that in the next 3 months, we're going to have 25 participants from the whole lot who will be representing many of you guys. And with the participants, they're going to be doing business model canvas, number one. And with the business model canvas, we'll be giving support, mentorship to all the participants to make sure that they have the right business model canvas. But number two, what we'll be doing, we're going to be guiding them to do project proposals. So some of you are going to be presenting or proposing your ideas to your RAF, you'll be proposing to TITA and whatnot. So we want to guide you to make sure that you have winning proposals. You know, some of you, when you do proposals, you do like 20 pages proposals, which can be very, you know, tedious and very hard to understand and read and everything. But we want to show you in a concise way, in a better way, how can you do project proposals. But also what we're going to help you with developing social media strategies for road safety education. So yes, you're going to be putting up your content on social media, running road safety education. However, you need guidance. You know, you need somebody to say, hey, maybe this is a better way of doing it, so that you are able to nail it and get the right traction, the right numbers on board, and the right young people who are really interested in making sure that we become safe on the roads. So these are the home tasks that you'll be doing for the next 3 months. And in October, which is next month, we're going to be doing another session with you guys. With the session, it's going to be progress to check where you guys are. You know, we'll give you some time from now, but at the end of October, we'll be checking as to how far you guys are, and then provide more support if you need any support, and other agencies that can assist you, and the municipalities that can assist you, or the provincial governments that can assist you. If we have to take it to corporate and also national, then we'll also be doing that as well. But we are here as Tsogo Road Safety and as Abu Tiram's Foundation. Thank you so much for your time, for listening to me. And then if you want to contact me, please use those numbers, not for any other reason, but for Tsogo Road Safety and learning about Tsogo Road Safety and Tabang, thank you so much. I'm done.
All right, thank you, Abudi Rams. Please just write your numbers in the chat box as well, so that colleagues can also get them there. So what we're gonna do right now is to move on. Colleagues, if you have any questions for Abudi Rams, maybe just hold them until we get into our panel discussion. So we're just gonna allow, first, before we do the panel, we're gonna allow Mme Mutsabi to just present on what the department does and how it works with young people in terms of road safety programs and their mandate. Mme Mutsabi, are you still with us? Mme Mutsabi, is she still there, colleagues? I see, okay. I see she's still part of the meeting. I'm just not sure whether she's able to unmute herself, you know. Memotabi, are you able to unmute yourself? I see she's unmuted the video. I'm not sure what's happening to audio. Rems, can you maybe assist? Oh, there you are. Memotabi, over to you. Just a short presentation for 10 minutes on what the department does and how it works with young people and collaborates with young people with organizations to be able to implement programs on the ground and the mandate of the department, basically. Over to you, Memotabi.
Thank you, Tara. Not necessarily going through what Tabo has presented because it's in some way related to what he has been saying, and some of the programs that we're implementing as a department, we're working very closely with them. But just for starters, I must indicate to everyone that as a department, our core mandate being that of ensuring that our roads are safe, and specifically to my unit, we deal mainly with educating road users on how to behave on the road before we can have an intervention like law enforcement taking its place. So yeah, we do educate road users on road safety. We do have programs that we are implementing as a department, school programs, the flagship one being that one of Scholar Patrol, where you have more than 2,000 learners participating in that program. We also have the ones that are also coordinated by the RTMC, which you show road schools debates and other research-based projects that are conducted by learners at schools. We also, on our community engagement programs, we have been working with the RTMC in terms of engaging the youth and the NPO on the youth structures that are in the province. That is, how do we work with them to ensure that we support them, we involve them in our programs and so on. That project, we were just to start it off with the RTMC, but it has not taken off as yet. We met a few of them in Bujanala, but in our planning, we were to meet them in other districts, but due to the circumstances now, we still are waiting for directive from the RTMC on what else to do. But it must also be noted that as a province, we do not have a dedicated funding for young people. We do not fund any NPO, but we can, where possible, involve them in one or two of our volunteer programs, where we have, like I mentioned earlier on, your Scholar Patrol program. We can have the young people who can come into the program to ensure that they assist learners as they cross to and from school. And we have that one of the stray animals rangers, where we have to appoint young people to be involved in the program in removing these animals from the road. It's not an appealing project to the young people because, you know, they would think it's like they are headmen or so, but it is a program where we get members of the specific community to patrol the roads and remove those animals that are causing accidents on our roads. But it's not covering the entire province. We've picked up on our hotspots in the province, but once a need has been identified, we go there and make an assessment whether is it feasible for us to appoint people to assist us as a province. So we do encourage, we do have this youth program on our planning where we want to engage them on what is it that they can do to assist us as a department to ensure that we continue educating our road users as mandated. We've worked with the youth structures in your Bujanala area, in your Majakaneng area, along the N4, and so on. Like I said, we do not fund them, But what we can do is to integrate them in our programs that we are implementing as a department. We do have your driver education workshops. These driver education workshops, we do have the young people also from your transport companies, from your bus companies, from the taxi industry who come in, and then we've worked very closely with the Road Accident Fund on that project, but we have also taken up upon ourselves as a province that wherever the Road Accident Fund could not reach, then we as a province can extend to such areas. So yeah, basically this is what we do. And like I said, we do not have enough funding for your MPOs. We are relying on our entities like your Road Accident Fund, your RTMC, to assist us in doing that. We did have a project on learner license, which was covering mainly the entire province, but it had its challenges, and it's still a matter that has to be resolved internally within the department. So yeah, we're dependent on our entities to assist us in terms of funding. But as a province, we are more than willing and all the time willing to engage with the NPOs that are within the province in ensuring that we achieve what we set out to achieve in our program. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's that, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Memotsabi. Just be on standby for questions from the young people. But before I jump into questions, maybe let's just make these sessions about opportunities that are available for young people. Just to streamline the session, I just want maybe Thabo Makwela, if you are there, can you just maybe also just in a brief just explain what types of young opportunities in the RAF exist for young people, so that this session is mainstreamed in that direction. As you can see that they already have a home task to come up with activities for the business canvas model. Bongani, I've noted your hand, but I just want to give our colleagues just the time to further explain what type of opportunities are available. Thabo, can you maybe just highlight one or two opportunities that are available for the youth, and also criteria in terms of what qualifying criteria do you use, what type of entities do you fund? Just highlight that more so that they are aware of such things. Thabo, over to you.
Thank you, Taba. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, once again. In terms of opportunities available, one, we do have every year we advertise for positions for internships. We take at least between 2 and 4 interns every single year. Secondly, for non-governmental organizations or NGOs, we've got funding that we provide to NGOs. We fund ideas, we fund proposals. You've got an idea that you think it's able to or might result in a reduction or prevention of fatalities or accidents within the country. Send us a proposal. However, as I've mentioned, we don't fund programs that we conduct ourselves. We also do partnerships, like Mem Sabe has indicated. We can partner with you if you've got an activity that you're planning. Please do invite us. It's even advantageous for you to invite us because of one, it gives us an idea of what kind of programs are you conducting. The next time when you send a proposal, we are able to fund it because of we are familiar. We've seen how you do it. We've seen the impact, if there is any. We've seen the advantages of the program. We've seen how we've seen the organizations and how committed are you in terms of implementing that program. So yeah, as indicated, I'm going to leave my details on the screen. I should be sending emails before the end of next week to all the NGOs that have sent us a request before. We're opening a window for funding and going to be closing it towards the end of October. And before the end of December, we should be done with evaluations and funding of the NGOs or the proposals that we see originally that might have an impact on road crashes, or they might have an impact on the behavior of road users. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, Taban. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you very much, Tabo. I see that Bongani, you can come through maybe with your comment and question before I give other colleagues space to comment.
Oh, thank you very much, Tawa. First and foremost, let me thank Me Motsabi Chukudu because of how we got it was a very rushing process, but I would like just to share my gratitude that even in the 11th hour, she was able to respond to our request as young people, and she spent her day here. So in fact, I do not necessarily have a question because I think other things we will have to speak with her bilateral, but just to give my appreciation towards her that on the 11th hour, she was able to respond to our call, and we really appreciate her time and the input in which she has given to us. And also for giving clarity. You know, when young people think of government, they think that government only gives funding all the time, or government has to employ all young people, which is highly impossible. But what the government can do is to create spaces in which where young people are then able to flourish, be it through their NGOs or their companies, dealing with red tapes and bureaucracies and stuff like that. And I think showing interest in what young people are doing, I think moving forward in that bilateral conversation, we'll then discuss as to what type of other projects can we then create in order for young people to flourish. But more than anything, I just wanted to give my gratitude and thanks to her. Thank you, Mema Mutsabi, Kelebongani, Modlexo.
All right. Thanks, Paul, for that comment and word of acknowledgement. Maybe Remsen, Mdate Masipa, if you can just come through also just to give a brief on what type of opportunities exist, especially at RT, for young people and people with organizations that are doing programs on the ground. What are the funding criteria? When do you fund? You know, when are open windows for call for proposals? Just give that sort of clarity so that young people know how to structure sort of their business canvas models and their projects to be able to align to your mandate. Date Masipa?
Thank you, Chairperson. As I've indicated in some of the questions that were raised earlier, at this stage at RTIA, there's no specific time. At any given time, you can do the proposal, and similar to what Tawa has indicated, as long as it makes business sense in terms of the road safety programs or strategies that we have, to us, we do fund such programs. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, there's no specific time, as long as it makes sense, particularly on the road safety activities. We have no problem with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Date Masipa. Colleagues, I want to just take questions. If you have questions for Memotsabi or for Tabo or for Remsen, just to get more clarity before I just give them another platform to just wrap up the session. Is there any question? Because I see we are losing participants as well because it's been a long day. You know, it's Thursday. You know, the president might close some elements that we are interested in as young people. So I want to give you colleagues just one more chance to ask questions, ask clarity, or give comments. Is there anyone who wants to do that before I hand over back to our partners? You're more than welcome. Just come in without. I have noted Bongani. I just want to check if there's anyone else. Bongani, you're noted. I'll give you a chance now to speak. I just want to check if there's any other hands. All right, Bongani, you can shoot. It seems like colleagues are sorted.
Because we've already received Mr. Tabo's details, I think also participants, they've also captured them. Mine is to, I think I had this one with you bilateral, perhaps also just to get a highlight from them, get a permission from them. If all of this presentation can then be combined and then what then to other members, because we must bear in mind others had to leave because of load shedding has already started. They've been telling me on a personal space and that they couldn't even listen to the rest of the presentation made by other colleagues. That's one. Also on Memotabi again, it's just there was a question here on a friend or bilateral that perhaps would you then give permission if you share your email address so that if there's an external conversation that they want to have with you, then they can make that channel through you. So they just wanted that permission. That's all. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Bongani. And Memotabi, maybe if you can just respond to that last part, Bongani, in terms of sharing your contact information. I know it will be key if you also share it in the platform so that those people who might not see it in the WhatsApp groups can able to receive maybe your number or your assistant's number or stakeholder relations manager in your office, just to have the conversation go on and continue to assist young people in the province of Northwest to really help us in the road safety space. Memotabi, you can maybe just comment on that.
Okay, I will post them on the chat for everyone to have access to. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Memotabi. You were saying that you're gonna post them on the chat for everyone to have access to.
Yes, I'll post them on the chat so that everyone can have access to them.
All right.
And to
thank
make
you very much.
to make my plea also, we are struggling to get these youth NPOs. That they must communicate with me. They must let me know that they are existing, and I must know what they are doing so that I can see how do I assist them.
That's a very progressive commitment, Memotabi, and we will assist you as the Tsogo Safety Program with a database of the NPOs that are part of the program and what they do. Maybe they can send through their profiles to you so that you understand what type of work they do. So we'll assist you with that. I know Abuti Rams is here together with Bongani. We'll definitely send you all the details that you require, and so that colleagues can be able to get that information to you. And I know Thabo has not been using a presentation. Maybe Tate Makwela, if you can, Thabo, if you can maybe also send through a presentation that you wanted to do that you couldn't do, so that colleagues can also have access to the information that might have been left out or some of the things that they might have missed through your presentation. Is that okay in that?
Yes, I'll forward one to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Colleagues, we do have a load shedding problem in Northwest in many areas, and that's why we've lost quite a handful of our participants. So I don't want us to drag the session longer. However, right now what we are doing is that we're doing a live poll that is coming up on your screens. So I want you to just participate in the poll quickly. There's been one question so far that's been asked. So colleagues in the meeting, just participate in the poll. I'll give Abuti Rams time to just help you go through the questions one by one and tell you how many maximum participation are we reaching, maximum participation. So Abuti Rams, just go through the poll questions quickly, and then I'll come back and wrap up the session. Thank you, my leader.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, we've come to the end of the session, and my role here is to guide you on making sure that you answer the polls that we have. It's just to give us a bit of feedback to understand what is your understanding of the presentation. The first one was with regards to road safety, road accident fund. So what assistance do you need from RAF? Is it financial or is it other support? If you believe that you don't need finance, maybe you just need other support, you could state that. So there's a poll there. It comes up on your screen. Just pick whichever choice that you prefer, which speaks to what you need. Please click on it. I see there are 5 people out of 20 right now who are participating there. Please, guys, you can see it on your screen. It pops up on your screen. Please click on the option that it is best suited for your case. So key question, what assistance do you need from Road Accident Fund? Those who don't understand what RAF is, Road Accident Fund, for your projects. Some of you have projects and you would need assistance. What assistance do you need from Road Accident Fund? Remember, this poll is going to help us so that we can share the statistics with Road Accident Fund. Then they'll be in a position to know what type of information do you need? What type of support do you need? So we have 7 people. Hi guys, no, you must submit. Guys, the poll is on your screens, ne? Look at your screens. It is on your screen. You'll be able to see it. 35%. No, guys. Let's click on those things. If you can't find it, I'm gonna end it and resubmit it again. Ne? Let me try again and relaunch. Cool. Please click on it. Let's see. Let's try it again. It's just popping up on your screen, guys. It pops up on your screen, and then you click on the choice. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Let's do it like that. Yebo. What support are you looking for? Oh, of course, Northwest Barata Zaga, they want money. So that's why they're saying financial support is number 1. That is the one that is leading with 71%. But yeah, colleagues, I'm gonna go to the next poll. The next poll is with regards to ARTIA. Many of you, I get the sense that many of you don't understand what ARTIA is while I was studying the meeting. So do you fully understand what RTIA is? Road traffic infringement. What does it do? What is it all about? If you still need understanding, yes, I do. Or you can say, no, I still need more clarity. You know, I use the word clarity because in your area, you are very political. So you use the word clarity. Comrade, you need point of clarity. So if you still need clarity on what RTIA is all about, if you need help in understanding that, you could click on that part. But if you don't, then we can say, yes, I do understand what RTIA is all about, because we also want to give this feedback to RTIA so that they understand, if people understand who they are and what they're all about. All right, cool. Thank you so much, guys, for participating in that. And then the second last one is the business model canvas. With the business model canvas, I'm asking a question: do you need more help with the business model canvas? If you need more help, this is the best time to put that. I know some people are shy to ask questions, so this is the opportunity for you to just click an option for you, and then I'll be sure to know. Some are saying yes, please. Some are saying no, I'm fine, thanks. And this is 3 people, but 4 people are saying that, hey, I need help, I need more help. So please, guys, click on that option. Yes, click on that option, whichever option that works for you. All right, cool. I'm gonna end this poll. I'm seeing 57% are saying yes, they still need more help. Okay, cool. Then the last one is with social media. You see, my things are very easy, guys. Technology, guys. T4IR, not really, but yeah, 4IR. So do you have social media pages for your projects? That is the question that I'm asking you. If you have social media, do you have Facebook? Do you have Twitter, you know, Instagram, all those things for your projects or your organizations? You know, I need to know, I need to be sure. If you do, then I'm going to be asking for those ones in our groups where we'll be doing mentorship. I'll be asking you questions about your social media presence. So I see that no, I do not have the 63% of the people are saying that no, I do not have, but 38% are saying yes, I do. Okay, cool. So I see the majority don't have social media pages for your projects. So this is why maybe you don't get funding, because you are not there on social media. Because if you are on social media, you'll be attracting funding. You'll be getting people who have the means to assist you in your project. So it's so important for you guys to have social media, but we'll be fixing those issues when we'll be doing the mentorship support and also leading up to the progress check workshops. Colleagues, thank you so much for your time. My time has ended now, so I'll be sharing the results with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Booty Rams. I see, let me just check the chat box quickly before I wrap up the session. All right, they are asking for the link to the poll, and I think the results are up if you check on the poll. Booty has shared the results. Colleagues, because of participants having issues connecting, say to our participants for sticking with us until 1 o'clock or almost 1. Thank you very much for being with us for over 4 hours in the meeting, in having a conversation and getting presentations and being workshopped. Thank you very much to the Road Accident Fund, our sponsor and key partner to this program. Thank you to Memo Tabi from the Department of Transport in the Northwest. Thank you very much to RTMC. They've also exited the meeting for the short presentations they've done. And we'd just like to thank all the participants and the beneficiaries. Continue to do the good work you are doing in the road safety space. This is, however, not the end of these workshops. We want to have progress check workshops where we really want to get our hands dirty and deal with your proposals and check whether what you have done with the business canvas model and how far you've got it. We want to just help you to sort of put together a well put together business case, rather, where you can send your proposal to your RAF, to your RTR, to your RTMA, to your TITA as well, who are also one of the partners to the program. So don't worry, colleagues. We wish that our next session, which is the progress checks workshop, we want to do them live. We want to sit with you in a room. Government has lessened our restrictions, so we're going to have 25 participants who we're going to help them to structure their proposals, to structure their process, their projects, so that there is no replication of work that government is doing. And very key, that there's no replication of project amongst colleagues in the same province, so that you can get funded, you can get partnered with from Mamutabi's side, from Road Accident Fund side. So we're going to plan those workshops. Bongani is here. You know him, he makes things happen. He's going to assist you with how to get in touch with us and also compile just a list of participants. Sorry about that. Together with our colleagues to just finalize that list. So with that said, I'd like maybe all our participants, thank you very much for coming to the meeting. You can exit the meeting officially now. We thank you for your participation, and just maybe our partners can just remain for a quick debrief for 5 minutes, and then we will end the meeting officially. So all the participants, you're welcome to drop now, hang up and leave the meeting, and thank you for coming. Maybe our partners, Memo Tabi, Tabo, and the colleagues, you can remain behind, and Remsen, and we'll just take it from there. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, okay, you're not good then.
Taban, I think we're fine.
Bebe, we're good.